Welcome along, Saturday crew, here on Racing Post Live. Myself, Dave Orton, thrilled to be back in the seat. It's scorching out there, isn't it? Quite literally again. Where are you watching? Where are you keeping cool, guys and gals out there? Let us know. This is an interactive show. We will be covering, if you're new to this, all the terrestrial races on ITV. Call it your second screen experience, whatever you want. This is the place for the real race reaction with the industry professionals in association with Betfair. Here comes the market. Look onto the screen. 9 races for you. We thought there'd be 10. They've had to scrub one along the way. We will be talking a bit of politics if that's what you want to hear. Loads of small fields out there again, isn't there? There's a drought in some parts of the country. But don't worry, we're going to steer you in the way of some winners. Absolute certainty. I've got a great squad with me. So, like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. That's how you get involved in the chat. Let us know your naps along the way. What's still to come this flat season? York next week, isn't it? Greatest horse in the world turning up once again. Let us know your thoughts. Are you going? Love to hear. Anything on Facebook, of course, let us know. We'd love the chat there. And hashtag Racing Post Live. All right then, who have I got with me? Our brother from another mother. I've waited to say that for months. And here I am.
Not seen you for ages, really.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Exactly. Yes.
I've been away. You've been away.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've been worshipping the sun. You've got a good colour about you.
I know. I mean, you can see I'm built for tanning. You know, as in I've been in Kinsale actually. Again, a place synonymous with tanning, but actually the weather's was fantastic. Yeah.
That sounded like a bit of a freebie there.
Yeah, it was courtesy of Ollie Murphy and his parents.
First name drop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm here all the afternoon.
You are absolutely.
Yeah.
But Posty, you obviously run your own, operation at home with the young jumpers that you break in for everyone, and you do your point-to-point business, and your wife's very successful with it as well. I am quite interested to hear what the current issues are with this weather that's going on. So maybe as it goes across, the show, get your questions in for Posty, because there have been some. We broke a story obviously in the week where racecourses are now getting a little bit tetchy.
Which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. All right, well, we will hear from Posty, and a winner along the way would be nice. Listen, we love it when Posty gets a winner because the decibels goes up. It's a proper squad because the Arch is back as well, and we've got a bit of a thing about working with each other, us three, haven't we?
Seems that way,
It's nice, isn't it? I like it. Danny, how are we?
Good, Dave.
One of the busiest men in racing.
I wish. No, it's all good, all good. Looking forward to hopefully finding some winners today.
You've got good colour about you as well, Dan. I mean, anyone that's looking pale at the moment, you have to be slightly worried about.
He is wearing trousers, though.
I am wearing trousers.
You're going to Coldplay tonight, aren't you? At Wembley?
Yeah,
Just stuck away from that.
I was nervous about, would I be cold later, but I think it's a rookie mistake.
Yeah,
but,
all right. So, you're going to Coldplay in the week as well, aren't you?
I'm going on Wednesday, yeah. Looking forward to it.
It's a bit of a thing here. You can sort of tell a person that goes and watches Coldplay at Wembley. And
can you?
Really?
I absolutely can. I never thought you'd be two peas in a pod, but it seems you are, aren't you? Anyone else going to Coldplay? Any other great gigs out there? Let us know. Has anyone been racing with some music with it there? I was at Windsor on Monday, and I'll tell you who I saw at Windsor. The palest man in racing, Marc Hryhorskyj, joins us. Yeah. Marc Hryhorskyj, deputising for Barry in the studio.
Yeah, I'm in for the great man this week. But yeah, had a good night on Windsor on Monday.
You stayed for Craig Charles, who was doing the Soul Show, didn't you?
Don't tell everyone about that. But yeah, now listen,
I'm pretty sure it was all over Twitter and Instagram, actually, so it was out there.
Night. I was out with Tim Carroll, people from In the Saddle, Chris Loader. It's good. Obviously got a good card today, Newmarket, Newbury, Ripon. Bit of a controversial comment for the best horse in the world, running next week at York. I'm not so sure about that. But yeah, you can only beat what's in front of you.
Like it. Some ooze already on the panel. Right, so we play for charity in every single race. Of course, gambling responsibly is our MO. This is the time of year where there's so much racing out there. It's tricky at the moment, guys, isn't it, with the small fields? Marc is going to try and hit a lucky 15 out the park for you. That's a multiple, and of course, you've got an offer.
Yeah, obviously we've got bet £10 on multiples and get a £10 free bet on multiples on horse racing today. But what we'll do is we'll get the lucky 15 on for today. We'll play stand. There is an issue with a lot of small fields. I was quite keen on John the Baptist, the 120 Newbury, but that one's actually a non-runner. Probably put that one in your tracker. I think that one's quite well handicapped. But we'll get the lucky 15 on for Saturday. The first race we're going to look at is the 250 at Ripon. This is an extra place race. We're paying 5 places instead of 3, so we want to be taking advantage of that. Quite sweet on Fortimore. If I can find this one.
Ben Haslam's?
Yeah, it was a big eye catcher last time out.
This is in the St Wilfrid, of course,
yes.
The biggest betting race of the day.
5 places instead of 3 on the Betfair Sportsbook. It was a big eye catcher for me. I was stuck behind a wall of horses. But I expect a big run this afternoon. Next one is the 3 o'clock at Newbury. It's Abel Kane. Again, I think this one can bounce back from that last run. Extra places on offer again on the Betfair Sportsbook, 3 places instead of 2. Absolute value. It's been a bit of money for this one as well. So I've got these 2. I've got the next one is the 3.15 Newmarket. This is probably one of my best bets for today. I do know Paul Keeley has put this one up.
This is in the Greys race.
Yeah, I think this one's well handicapped. It's been laid out for this race, in my opinion, back on the turf. But unfortunately, the prices went. It was about 16s last night. Yeah, revolutionised second. Apparent second string for Stuart Williams, but Marc takes a ride. And the last leg of the lucky 15 is the 3.35 Newbury. Hopefully to bring home a big one. We've went for Happy Romance. I think the step up in triple suit this one. That one's 11-1. So a £1 each way lucky 15 will net the charity of choice Greatwoods 26,000 if this one cops.
Boom.
So fingers crossed on that
guys.
one, yeah.
That's what we're all about. If this show does nothing else, as I say, we always make loads of money for charity. And what a Saturday Barry had when he came, of course, over. So no pressure, Mark.
No pressure.
Just your career at stake.
Yeah. Listen, I was quite keen on John the Baptist in the first from McAppleby. I think this one's really well handicapped.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about Frantic, that run last time at Sandown. I mean,
have you got an alternative in this?
Yeah, I was quite keen. I thought the alternative to John the Baptist was definite for Ralph Beckett and Hector Crouch. Confirmed front runner. I think it was a game winner at Nottingham. Bumped into Sir Mark Prescott's well handicapped. Eagles way 3 out of 3. That thing could have like 2 stone in hand.
It's a monster, that.
Yeah. Probably needs further
There's
as well.
a lot of nodding on the panel going on.
Yeah, so
Churchill's on the panel all of a sudden.
I think off 77, I think can be competitive here. I'm not so sure about the favourite Frantic. It's been quite weak, and that run last time out as well would put me off as well. This one was 15-8. This morning it's out to around, I think it was around 4.5 on the Betfair Exchange right now, so notably weak. So what we'll do is we'll have a £25 win on definite 4.1, so roughly around the 3-1 mark. Yeah, Frantic's very weak, it's 4.7, nearly out to around the 4-1 mark. We'll have a £25 win for profit, £77.50.
Yep.
But Mick Appleby's John the Baptiste, that'd be one I'd put in the tracker. It came over from Ireland. It's been a bit disappointing. 2 runs at Chester, slowly away. You've got no chance, you're slowly away there. And the last run as well, competitive race, lost at the start. That'd be one I'd put in the tracker. It's about £16 below its last winning mark. Well, since it came over from Ireland, so it's potentially. Stable's in form as well, 23% strike rate.
You're gutted it doesn't run.
Absolutely gutted. It was
a good start for you.
Yeah, but we'll go with definite. Could be a potential back to lay, but short enough in the bank, so I don't think we'll get away with that. But hopefully we can get off to a winning start with definite.
Well, there's a drought out there at the moment, as they're telling us, the government, believe that or not. There are some keen-on runners anyway, including that lucky 15, the Greys race, 3.18, the Greys race, that novelty Greys race. Let us know if you've got one in that, but there were 2 keen-on runners in there, and we'll be finding them. So no John the Baptist, but are you singing from the same hymn sheet as Mark?
No, I'm
You missed that one,
I did, yeah, I got it. I just
You
chose to
chose to
ignore
ignore it.
Yeah.
It's going to be that sort of show, fair enough.
I'm going to give Fran Tank another chance, is my feeling about it, as in...
I'm sort of sighing because I was with him last time and I'm jumping ship, so tell us why you're sticking with it.
Well, I mean, crikey, they made him 11-10 favourite, so you'd imagine that they felt the sort of opening mark was good. Obviously, the Sense of Wisdom first ruler form from Newmarket is solid. I mean, the trainer's rep said that the horse was unsuited by a lack of pace. Now, I suppose read into that what you will. I mean, that just might have been... That
was an actual, what we call H14, which is a steward's reasoning.
Right.
So they were, it's because he was so well beaten at a short price, quite rightly so, the stewards have pulled him in and said, what's your excuse for that? There are no pace, Governor. So my question, this is one of the reasons why, so here he is in a small field race. I still definitely think, he's a well-bred son of Frankel. It's them, isn't it? The fire team, as I call them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They never miss.
And they really don't, yeah.
Do you think he might try? I mean, Highland Premier, you'll be hoping will get on with it.
You've got Highland Premier, as in Definite's going to be positively ridden as well.
You'd imagine.
I would have thought. And so look, there's no excuses, is there? You'd imagine there is going to be a gallop of sorts in this race, and there are a few more runners. So yeah, I just, like I say, I'm just willing to overlook that one blip and side with them, give them one more chance.
Such a nice track, Newbury, isn't it? Jumps or flat. It's just a pleasure to cover. We're doing that, of course, Newmarket. We'll be keeping an eye on things over at the Curragh as well. There's some good racing there. And the feature of Ripon's calendar, the Great St Wilfrid, comes at 2.50. I really, really like one in that. But let's continue on this first race. Are you a hymn sheet or are you going somewhere else?
No, I'm on the hymn sheet. I've gone to Mass. I like Definite.
When in doubt.
Yes, indeed.
I've gone to Mass, Danny Archer. I love it.
Eagles way. I know what Marc said as well. I think well handicapped. So Marc obviously got that ready for a nice hat-trick bid.
Yeah.
I guess what you said though, Definite and Highland Premier, hopefully they don't cut each other's throats up front. But if not, I think Definite was quite difficult to offer Marc a 77. I thought had more scope for him.
Is there any stats with Rafe Beckett and tongue ties?
We need Rodway here, don't we?
I think Charlie's point with first ruler is a good one. I mean, that one off 93 next time out, and obviously sense of wisdom, third behind Hryhorskyj, Smart, chasing Aphrodite, and that one's Smart at Newmarket. So it's just the way it came out the stalls would be a massive red flag for me. Getting pushed along straight away, was beat very early on, and it been prominent before. So
I've been positively ridden before. Like I can hear completely your wary, your worries about it. I'm just, like I say, I'm just willing to chance it once more.
He's worn blinkers before the Fav, and he's sort of Fav by default here. It does look like an easier spot for him. General Lee's the one I like. We're all sort of plagiarising Saturday Solicitor himself, Kills, because I think he might have napped this yesterday. I can't remember whether he actually. I think he did nap this when I was doing a feature show with him. Oh, What a Shout show, and he really likes this. Mohammed Tabti. For the Coles. It's good to see the Coles getting the horses back up and running. This is a small stakes race for me, if at all. I mean, I've had a little bit on him because I do think he's probably slightly overpriced. Kills' reasoning was he wasn't seen near his best at Goodwood last time. He's just taken a little while to find his feet, but he's well handicapped and Tabti 7 off in a race where quite a few have got something to prove. It is basically it. Track will suit and all that sort of thing. But he has won at Goodwood before over that course and distance where he flopped last time. So while this is... And he wears blinkers. So it's just who's on a going day here, I think, isn't it? Spoke to Andrea Azzini yesterday about Highland Premier. There's been a tad of money for him. Again, another one that flopped at Goodwood last time. When in doubt, a lot of people like to go for the Bravehearts. And we can see him going down now in the sunshine, looking glistening. How much, you know, on a day like this, let's come to the horseman amongst us.
None.
I was going to talk to Arch there. But you jumped straight in. Of course you did. You're not worried whether they lather up?
Oh, whether they get swarm. I was going to say, I thought you meant about gleaming, and like, you know, if a horse can't look well at this time of year when we got 30 degrees.
I wasn't going down that cliche route.
You're not.
You should know better now. I know you've had another host on this show when you last in, but you're back in the big league now, mate. So get
sweating up. No, again, I mean, like crikey, it's 30 degree plus heat, isn't it? Horses are going to get warm. I wouldn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's varies of it, isn't there? I mean, if one's absolutely losing its mind and is completely lathered up, it might be a concern. But horse getting a bit warm on a day like today wouldn't be a worry for me.
All right, okay. I'm laughing because they're saying, do you want to collar Charlie on his collar? Your collar's gone up a little bit.
Oh, thank you.
That's all right.
Sorry.
All right, no worries. Too many oysters.
Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought I'd ever be sartorially checking
exactly,
you out?
Yeah, exactly.
You've often sartorially called me out. Not today, mate. I've got a bit of Fred Perry on.
No, you look smart, yeah.
You're always in this heat. You've had a shocker because I once, famously on this show, banged in a big prize winner. It did happen occasionally a long time ago. And I put my arms up in the air and the rings were there.
They were there.
And the video's out there. And so if you ever go to a wedding in this heat, you should really wear dark. And Arch and white, I'm not sure about all that.
Yeah, but he's cool.
That is, well, at the moment he is. At the moment he is. You wait till I throw in the Great St Wilfrid commentary. Let's see him.
Fantastic.
He's only got 15 runners in it
Or in the 30 degree heat at Coldplay later in the
you
amongst
don't want
the
to be
masses.
wearing jeans.
Yeah.
I was at football last night and it was 10:30. It was still burning up, I tell you. So come on, let us know. Who's out there? Are you going with the lucky 15 of March? You can see it there. There's my tips on the screen, actually, isn't it? That's right. So I'm with General Lee. Definite. Look, two-way play for Definite. When in doubt, go for the Fab for the boys on the panel. They're playing it with a straight bat. And Frantic for the team Haggis. Marc, 3:35 is our feature race of the day. Yeah. But it's a little bit odd, isn't it, that the Great St Wilfrid is not what we call the feature race of the day. I would call this St Wilfrid Day, you know. But we're 5 down from the maximum field. We've got no consolation race. They couldn't even field it. So the Hungerford Stakes has been promoted to the 3:35 race on a Saturday. The 3:35 race on any Saturday is usually the big race of the day. Tiber Flow, I put him up yesterday. He stinks in the market, and when a Haggis horse drifts, it worries me. Yeah,
he's notably weak. I think it's really competitive, this race. Pogo leads the betting at 3-1 at the moment. Tiber Flow 5.3. Shindit. Danny's quite keen on this one. 5.3, 9-2. I think Happy Romance is overpriced around 11-1, but I think this one's ultra competitive. There's no standout for me in this race.
Let's get some social interaction up. Thanks, Marc, for that. Let's go. Who's going to open the show now? This is going to test me because this monitor has gone further away. MI comes back. Oh, my Lord. Here we go. Frantic in the first. Hoping they have more use made of it today for MI, one of our regulars, opening the show. Yeah, well, you wanted to see him sitting third, don't you, really? That's what on the inside.
Yeah, break well and
under
get
Tommy
a good
Marquand and then punching basically as we go along. And just to make it more difficult for me, Paul Bakewell, they're having a laugh in the gallery. They're all in there today. Right, Paul Bakewell. Paul, we had a chat last night, didn't we? Great, one of our regulars, Paul, always tells it as it is. I've had two here, he says. General from the Coal Stable is firing in the winners and the unexposed definite. That should prove with the distance. That should improve with the distance. Tell you what, I'm going to have to read these off the screen here. We've moved the studio about a bit, and I have to say, actually, what do you think of the new? I mean, obviously, sort of lift the lid on it a little bit, but it looks very nice in here, doesn't it? We've got proper aircon in here today. We're absolutely in the right place to be, aren't we?
The aircon is fantastic.
You're not going to be able to top up your tan today, Marc. I'm sorry to say that.
Where I'm from, it doesn't take a lot for that. So it's not
no, of course, absolutely. The Scotsman in the pack. Okay, all right. Who's going to call these? Shall I take the first one, Dan?
Go on, you take the first one,
Me and
Dave.
Danny will probably alternate. Dan's a rather sort of decent closet commentator. How's the greyhound world going? Your greyhound Derby horse, dog won.
Yeah, 40-1, Romeo Magico. But
that was the last show we did, wasn't it? Me, you and Poste.
Yeah.
You backed it out at a massive price. So your stock has gone up in that world.
Well, just about. And then at the moment, all the racing's off this weekend because it's too hot.
Quite right.
32 degrees is the limit for dog racing, so nothing. So it's just cold play tonight after this.
Who made that temperature limit?
I think the Greyhound board.
Right.
I think it's a limit. Is there one in race?
Well, this I was just about to throw to the horseman. On the back. All right, don't worry, Marc, I'm not going to do it. When do we start worrying about that? Because, of course, they race in Saudi Arabia, they were,
Yeah, but horses are very good at acclimatising when they're in it constantly. If you like, so if you're a horse in Saudi Arabia, you're
so the yard at home at the moment. Do you notice them acting differently because of the heat?
Yeah, they get quite fatigued and that they do. I mean, we try and get them out earlier before it gets too hot and try and make sure that you're checking them, making sure that they're hydrated, they're drinking plenty. And
quite a few punters have been saying to me when I've gotten racing that they find it not only the small fields difficult, because of the paid tempos of the races and the consistency with the horses now and all that sort of stuff, but also they think they do genuinely believe that some horses just aren't digging it sometimes.
Well, I'm sure they're no different to people, though. I'm sure
we rely on this time of year, don't we, for the form book to be totally embedded, and for exposed horses to run as they should.
But it is a curveball now, isn't it, Blake?
It's a proper
because the heat is not something that we're used to, is it? Prolonged periods of 30-degree plus heat.
No. All right. So we're not going to melt away for you in here, don't worry about it.
It's money for Highland Premier here.
Has there?
Andrea
Razzini?
8.8, yeah.
This was the one who was lukewarm with me on yesterday. You know what they say when jockeys are like that.
Wonder Ellisman, a bit of late money for that was 25 in the sports, but yes, it's 10-1 now.
Thanks, Marc. Great to have you in the studio, Marc. Good to be here.
It's good to be here, yeah.
And we might throw a commentary your way, you never know. All right, away we go. Now, Definite wasn't the best away, lads. You can see why he's worn blinkers on,
Frantic's well away, isn't he?
General Lee's up there. Now, Frantic, this is exactly what you wanted to see posted.
Yeah, well out the gate. And
well out the gate, but now he's looking for some cover. He's got it. He's sitting third. This is what you wanted.
Yeah, very happy right now.
And actually, General Lee, I didn't see this coming, Marc. Did the exchange. He's out in front.
Yeah, General Lee's 5.1 under Mohammed Tabati. Definite's quite keen in running. I'm surprised this one's favourite. This one's training around 11-4 in running. Looks quite keen.
Frantank keen as well.
Yeah.
We may have a deputy for Barry in the studio, but the pronunciations of names are still going to remain the same.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking for a jockey that's not riding in this race, Marc, all of a sudden. It's Mohammed Tabti. He's up front. Let's get the banter out of the way. And I'll tell you what, Mohammed is being run away with Poste, isn't he?
I mean, he's setting searing fractions.
This can't possibly win, can it?
Yeah, they're not reacting.
Mohammed, this is not the Nunthorpe.
Searing
heat,
searing fractions.
Yeah, if you're on General Lee, Keels will now be kicking the can. Let's put it that way. This could just suit Rogue Rocket, couldn't it, out the back, who has to find some extra from somewhere. But the race is being run to suit Conor Planas, young jockey going base. The fact that Ireland Premier. When do you start worrying that this has gone 10 lengths clear going in, guys? Danny.
I'm a bit nervous about Definite. He's already nudging along. It's all a game of cat and mouse now, isn't it? When do you press the button, Poste?
Go after the breakaway leader.
Frantic's the only one that can get him, but you're relying now on the General basically falling in a hole.
The General will fall in a hole.
What's the General saying on the exchange?
Yeah, General's 5-2. Frantic's 6-4
they don't think he's going to win, do they?
Postwick for Richard
Postwick under Kingscote.
Postwick is coming. Are you suggesting that this year's Derby winning jockey has timed it right? Oh, now Mohammed Tabti is starting to think, oh my lord, how on earth am I going to hold on to this job? Because if the cavalry are coming, the
absolutely,
general, though, he's seeing them off at this point. I'll tell you, it was a brave effort. Here comes Frantic. Here comes Poste. Henry Gandy might be getting this by the look of it. King's Coast licking his lips. Rogue Rocket from the back. Frantic. What a shocking run that is. Oh, if you're on the general, he's run his heart out.
Yeah,
but Mohammed just got run away with. Look at this Postwick, the one that no one fancied had gone out. I'm not sure about Frantic there. It looked like he hit a flat spot to me. We'll see what the panel think after Marc tells us the story of the exchange.
Yeah, Postwick's actually outside of the field, BSP 11s. It's quite a good run from General Lee, nearly got the fractions right. This one's went as low as 2 to 1, 2.92 for £101. Definite looked beat, 3-4 furlongs out, the distress signals were out very soon for that one. Frantic actually went odds on at one stage as well. It's been trading at 1.64 for decent money, very one-paced, but good ride from Richard Kingscote and Postwick, got the job done.
Was anyone with it out there? I'm just looking at the chats actually, and Toon 2020. Who have the Toon got this weekend? Should know because Kieran Thirlwell. Who? Today, Brighton. Tricky game. Let's hope they lose. Just to even it up a little bit. Postwick, Toon 2020 was on this. Where did you get that from? I mean, Henry's horses are running quite well at the moment, but this looked pretty exposed, didn't it? It's Harry Eustace, of course. It's the candy colours, isn't it? Harry Eustace. One that's got winning training. Was there money for this, Marc?
Not really. The Postwick is outside of the field, BSP 11s.
Ran 9 days ago.
Yeah.
Thrashed at Brighton.
Desperate, yeah.
Well, it sort of ran itself into the ground. That's only its second start in a handicap, I suppose. Toon you're looking at.
Back 2 furlongs in trip today. Yeah.
He's got another runner, Side Dior.
Totally different tactics.
Side Dior, same trainer behind what's running against Victory Dance.
Yeah, Harry Eustace obviously is bred to be rather good, isn't he? His brother's down under, isn't he?
Flying with Kieran Mayer, isn't he?
He's a good guy, Kieran Mayer, isn't he? And this chap, obviously, what was the horse that's now been sold? Latino Fling, wasn't it? Under Hayley Turner. Was that the winner
Latin
of the...
Lover?
Latin Lover, sorry.
Good shout, yeah.
Latino Fling, what am I on about?
Is that your part? Is that
Past days.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the missus is out today. She's not watching.
Latino Fling with the Latin Lover.
Yeah, all right. So look, tricky one, but some of you had it out there, which is great.
Brave run from the General Lee, no?
Yeah.
You got your each way, I suppose, if you're on that. But a lot of people would have been playing in the 3-place market. Of course, there was supposed to be 8 in this race, wasn't there? And 1 typically came out. No conspiracies. Of course, I'm saying that everyone's saying that there's a drought out there. My senior producer said, well, there is a drought out there, not just people saying it. I don't know, is there a drought everywhere in this country? Not officially, is there? No. I can still turn my hose pipe on in Buckinghamshire. You can.
Yeah, we can. I mean, but you do.
You are responsible for quite
You
a lot
do look out over the fields,
irrigation.
and I mean, I said to some owners today, I mean, we're just missing a giraffe and a lion, and it'd be like the Masai Mara, you know, as in it's pretty barren, isn't it? You know?
Ever been?
Yes.
I bet you have. Safari. Have you ever done safari?
No, never done safari.
Marc?
Strongly recommend.
You'd have to put on Factor 100, mate, if you
Not
were
for
over
me,
there,
yeah,
let me
if
tell
I'd
you.
heard the job, yeah. Not for me.
More likely to have seen polar bears, I'm imagining, Marc. The drone pilot is with us today from Betfair. Barry is playing golf somewhere in Portugal, having a great time. Basra, if you're watching, we miss you, man. I'll tell you what, he was on some form last Saturday, wasn't he, the governor?
Banging them in.
Woo!
Banging them in.
What was that about? We actually pretty much... we went through the card till the last race. It caused me sleepless nights, not just the heat that did. I can't remember what won the last race last. It was one of the last. It wasn't one of the last Shergars, was it? It was the last Shergar Cup race. What do we make of that Shergar Cup? We've got a bit of time until the next race.
I've worked with them before. I mean, they're
in what capacity?
In kind of working for the track in terms of interviewing jockeys and talking about what they what they make of it. I think it's okay, but I think there's better options out there. But I guess it's a nice thing for the track to have this international.
Once a year.
I think it's a great gimmick, and the prize money's good. But it is a bit of a gimmick, you know. It is, but if it good prize money, do people from further a sea take an interest in it? I don't know. You know.
Well, we had Oshie Murphy sitting in that seat, and he was great, and we went and broke Australia with it. I mean, that was ridiculous. They were saying that he was being blasphemous about winks and all that sort of stuff. Tim Carroll was interested in that on Monday night at Windsor, wouldn't he? Wouldn't leave me alone.
Yeah, got an earful about that on Monday night, yeah.
He was on a mission about it.
All I had to do was leave the bar. He wasn't going out of there. And it was quite an easy move in the end. Yeah. But no, and we had some Japanese riders, we had some Japanese viewers. It was absolutely fantastic. So I quite like the Shergar Cup, but only because I don't take it seriously, and I think it's once a year.
Yeah, but it's something different, isn't it? Like, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Racing Lee's getting a bit of stick again, isn't it? On a Thursday night. Oh, what? It's a grimace.
Because in my past life, obviously Team Odds Bible, I used to do stuff for Lab Bowl. They were a team last year, so they were very good in terms of the racing league and supporting the concepts and all that sort of thing. But I thought some of the jockeys, if they didn't really want to ride, it wasn't. I don't think
Frankie had a winner there on Thursday, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought ITV are on board now, so there's a bit more support for it. But I think that's a bit more of a gimmick, which I can't really get on board with. I don't know whether it works.
Are they 8 race cards, 7 or 8 race cards? Not one jolly yet, Mark. That's something that you need punters to be on side. Good for you, yeah.
It's not really, from my perspective, it doesn't really appeal to me from a betting point of view. No. Because you don't know how they're going to ride.
I mean, Paul Keeley, who was one of the largest critics of it last year, just because he doesn't like team sports. It wasn't anything personal towards him or anything like that. Innovation is always a good thing in racing. We should never try and hamper that.
And the prize money, again, is great.
Prize money is great, and it's impacted on some of the races.
But why can't that be done beyond the racing league?
Don't go there. We haven't got that time for that. I know you and James Millman on the show would be awful.
But that is the hammer on the head.
We wouldn't cover any racing.
Well, I don't really understand it. If you like, as in,
why not distribute it fairer across? Why does it have to be a certain 6 race days? Get more.
There's too many cooks.
Too much racing.
That's the problem. Well, there is too much racing. But as ever, let's balance it out. We're reminded by our great editor at the Racing Post. Just because we reduced the fixture list, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden the prize money from those races will go back in and boost up the rest of the prize money. They'll find some other use for it. It is not quite the silver bullet that we're looking for. There's zero evidence out there that reducing the fixture list would increase prize money, believe it or not. So it's a
would it increase field sizes?
It's a little bit of a misconception that.
Would it increase field sizes?
It 100% would increase field sizes. That wasn't quite the point I was making.
No, I know.
You're trying to jump on there and trying to get me going, aren't you? Field sizes is just...
big issue.
There's just too much racing and we're selling horses because of prize money.
I think we saw
it's a bit of a perfect storm in racing at the moment, isn't it?
I did read if we're on about horses getting sold at Hong Kong, even if your horse is worth 200 grand and you're getting offered £1 million to Hong Kong to sell it, even if there's more prize money to run for over here, are you still not going to sell your horse?
Oh, no-brainer.
As in, I'm not just sure that putting on a few more grand into prize money is going to stop people flogging horses when they get obscene offers.
It's too big in Hong Kong and Australia, you mean?
Well, the demand for European horses when they're at that level and the prices they're willing to pay. You've got to be a very, very rich person to be turning down.
It's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Was it Harry who sold that Latin one in the week for 210,000? I mean, that's an obscene amount.
He said going into that race that might be his last, her last run for me. So, and Harry's obviously got those Australian links, but
and Roger Charlton, the one that Thesis.
Thesis was the one that really made the alarm bells go because you're talking about one of the best known owner breeders of all time, of course, late Princess Khalid Abdullah. I wanted to call it Jub Monty. That was in the back of my mind there. That's why. Is it Jubmont or Jub Monty?
Judmont, yeah.
I want to say Jub Monty for some reason. Like the man from Jub
Yeah,
Monty.
yeah, exactly.
He says yes. Yeah. But Thesis, when he went, that was the one, I think, because they really should be keeping their horses. And that was thought to be the most talented horse in Charlton's Yards, who is a classic winning trainer, so that is a bit of a worry, isn't it? And yet another small field comes up at Ripon, as you can see there. We go now to Yorkshire, then one of the most undulating tracks in the business. If you're watching last Saturday, we were talking about the Great St Wilfrid and tracks like idiosyncratic tracks that we have here that you don't have in America, you don't have in Hong Kong, you don't have in Australia. It's the beauty of British racing. This is the one where front runners thrive because you get into a rhythm up front and the others get taken out of the comfort zone and they can put their foot in a hole and all that sort of stuff. So are you a fan of Ripon?
Foot in a hole?
Well, it's undulating, isn't it? I don't mean an actual hole,
Am I a fan of Ripon?
Have you ever walked along Ripon? I've walked the course.
I've ridden there.
Yeah, you have? Yeah. Of course you have. Tell us about that.
What do you mean?
I love it when you do this. You've been the winner at Chester.
It was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. But I mean, it's one of those when you watch. When you watch on the TV, you'd have no idea.
Cycling down a cobbled street, I imagine it's like.
Yeah, you'd have no idea, would you? And then you turn, and it's like that all the way up the straight.
Some horses can go to Ripon and they loathe it, and you'll think duck egg next to their name. They can go to a big track and win next time out,
Yeah.
But seemingly it's a comfort zone track, and that's why front runners on the round track do so well. We're mainly on the sprint track. In fact, I think we're only on the sprint track today, aren't we? 140 comes up then before we get Marc's selection in that and the rest of us. Come on, we need to get the winners on, not just you guys out there. One race down. A fan of Ripon, Danny?
I like the relentless nature of it. Yeah, I do actually. And it's the Rose. Isn't it called the Rose Racecourse or something? It's the most beautiful racecourse in England. The Garden Racecourse. Yeah. I quite like a relentless front-running galloper, so it would suit my sort of.
All racecourses in York are picturesque, aren't they?
I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I think possibly.
Is Firsk in York?
Yes.
Is that nice?
Yeah, it is nice there. I don't mind it there. Yeah, it's all right.
Nice town.
Maybe Catterick might be the exception to the
rule.
I'd probably base next door.
I'd probably struggle to call. Well, this is probably a hand grenade, and I'll be getting pelters. But yeah, I'd probably struggle to call Catterick picturesque.
What about Redcar?
Again,
you've got to go through a graveyard to get there, haven't you?
Yeah, again.
It depends what you're into.
Yeah, I mean, and that is the beauty of British racing. There's horses for everyone.
Town Moor, fantastic. York itself, of course, big Ebor. The last of the big flat festivals comes up, doesn't it, next week? Cannot wait for that. Anyone going?
No, certainly not.
No, unfortunately not.
What about the best horse in the world?
Yeah.
Can only beat what's in front of you.
Is Bai's not the best horse in the world then, before we get the tips? Who's the best horse in the world, Marc Hryhorskyj?
Right now, I'd probably say Bide, right? But I don't think the grade is that high, the calibre. But I think obviously stepping up in trip, we'll see what it's made of. I don't think Mischief is the same.
Going in to the King George that Mischief might still be.
We'll see what happens stepping up in trip.
It's going to be a hell of a clash, isn't it? Small field, but there usually is.
Yeah.
You know, the greats win it.
Yeah.
Bide wins.
Yeah.
I think
Bide wins.
Yes.
Mischief on song, I think give him a race.
Kills is all over Mischief. All over him,
Mischief. I want to see what he does under pressure. He just comes in on the bridle, wins easy. I want to see if he comes up in a proper battle.
Will it happen? That's the question.
Will Charlie Appleby's horse pitch up as well?
Native. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
It'd give a bit more depth as well, wouldn't
obviously
it?
Him and Mischief have had a go at each other before, haven't they? And Mischief was unlucky not to beat him. But his horses can bounce back, can't they? I don't know what went on with Mischief.
There's a lot of comparisons with Franco. I think people are getting a bit carried away.
Yeah. Done with that. And it was great to see that interview with William Haggis on the debate the other day. He basically just said, can we just get away from all
You see the Stars a good indicator. I mean, that's if you go back to that Freero campaign and see the Stars, it's difficult to get as good a Freero campaign.
A lot of people think that See the Stars was better than Franco.
Yeah, I would agree. Well,
different run styles, that was the problem, wasn't it?
I think
See the Stars didn't blow anyone away, did he?
He was more workmanlike, but so's Bide, isn't he? But
no, I agree. But what I'm saying is, but people love a horse that
won every race that's put in front of him. Didn't he? See the Stars. Look, we could go on and on and on and talk about this. Who was the best? Frankel, See the Stars. Who are you more of a fan of? I think that's what I should say. You know, we know who was the best on paper. Frankel's the best racehorse we have ever seen on paper. So, who were you more of a fan of, Frankel or See the Stars?
Good argument. If Bide comes in on the bridle to See the Stars. To See the Stars pull away.
Like Rip Van Winkle, didn't he? Of course.
Van Winkle
I was on Master Craftsman that day
as well.
I spent the whole of See the Stars season trying to get him beat.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So did Aidan O'Brien, I think.
Fame and Glory.
In the Derby,
Master
seven O'Brien horses and still Mick Kinnan.
I watched that at point to point. I was at Kingston Blunt that day.
We
were listening to it because you could bet on it there.
Yeah.
There was a second there. Johnny Martin was getting stuck in. He thought Franco was going to pick up. Not Franco. See the Stars. One whip from Kinnan. Quickened away.
He was a
multiple Group 1 horse.
Brilliant horse, yeah.
No See the Stars in this, of course, but we might have a future graded horse in here. Prince of Pio, however we say it. Prince of Pillow sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But Midland Park Racing, they won a listed race yesterday. It's such a good syndicate, aren't they? And the market thinks they might take this out, Marcus?
Yeah, back Cuban Mistress at Sandown, won at 33-1. But on to Prince of Pillow. I mean, this market was looking very different last night and this morning. There's been a lot of money for this one. It's 3.1 on the Betfair Exchange right now. It was around 7-2, but I think it's got a bit to find here with Wen Moon, course and distance winner last time out, the second to Hoy on debut at Carlisle. It's been Frank since. Hoy going down a neck to Lakota Blue at Redcar. That one was 7 lengths behind Bradshaw. At Ascot, so that form's good, straight in 91. Nice. New Definition, solid second at Musper last time out to Looking for Linda. This one's 4 lengths behind Richard Hannon's Smart. Trillium at Goodwood in the Morecambe Stakes. So
that's a proper horse, that,
yeah, I think the form's good from the top two before. I think Prince of Pillar's debutant winner here is probably going to be ridden handy. But I think it needs to run to Marc in 90 here. So I think having 4-9, 1-2 the field, having Wen Moon and New Definition running from the value here. So I think the bet is to lay Prince of Pillar in the win.
Not just a pasty-looking Scotsman over there, are you? You've definitely done your homework.
Yeah, listen.
Because you're right. The average winning mark in this is around about 95.
Yeah, I think this one's a silly price. I probably have around 7-2. We're happy to take this one at 4-9, but we'll see what happens.
Again, that's another. Yeah, you loving a bit of Ben Haslam today, aren't you?
Yeah, good trainer.
Midland trainer.
Yeah.
But in theory, as it stands, Prince of Pillar and Wen Moon are the only two that can conceivably get a mark. I mean, the ones with marks already below that average then, aren't
When Moon 74, Racing Post Racing on debut, 85 when winning. Another step up, which he has to do, but if he goes to his profile, he's going to be.
But they're the ones with the potential to do that.
I like When Moon here. I think he's got to draw near the fence as well. New definition when he was beaten at Musselburgh last time. The market really came for him, but he found one a bit too speedy that time. But I was still a little bit disappointed with him. I can see why Prince of Pillow is. Are we calling him Prince of Pillow? We are.
Yeah.
Making me feel tired.
I think it's a bit of a step up for Keith Douglas here. Prince of Pillow. Bit of an ask,
He always
especially at that
finds
price.
one Keith Douglas, doesn't he, each season? One really good juvenile. Well, sometimes more, of course. But is anyone with the Prince?
Yeah, I came down him. I mean, again, I don't have a very strong opinion on the race in any way, shape or form.
Well, this wasn't supposed to be the first race at Ripon tonight.
I mean, I can see the argument with Wenmoon, and again, I suppose if we're saying that Ripon form is important, then that's a massive bonus, isn't it, for a 2-year-old?
Yeah, there were supposed to be 7 races, of course, at Ripon today. The consolation race at Ripon didn't fill. Okay, so it's usually max field of 20, no problems in the Great St Wilfrid 250. Ran about just over an hour away, one of our feature races of the day. Only 15 in that. This didn't fill. Now, a lot of people were saying, oh, I told you there was a problem at the start of the season. These races aren't filling. But the consolation race, if you look at the Stewards' Cup, that was really low down, wasn't it? It's the end of consolation races coming up here, isn't it? It's a bit of an old school thing, a consolation race now. With something like Air, maybe, because the prize money's so big and you're going to get 100 entries there, you can get it. But for something like the Great St Wilfrid, was it even a bit greedy in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely a potential
It's
argument
not
that it
just
was.
because we've got small fields of this, is it? There are reasons. This is maybe, who's...
I mean, Air, you got 3 divisions, haven't you?
Exactly. There you go.
I mean, so that will be interesting, I suppose, come that time, won't it? I mean, another big meeting up there.
That's when you might actually press the red button.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't even end up with a silver trophy,
Yes!
I mean, or whatever, it's going to be a big problem, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, look, it's just an interesting time, isn't it? I'm sure the weather's got something to do with it as well. I think When Moon will be the scorcher in here. You think Prince of Pillow. Mark, have you got your trade on? Is it When Moon?
Yeah, I'm just going to put that on just now.
Top man, that's important.
3.
The people like to see this out there.
3.35, so we're around the 9 to 4 mark on the Betfair Exchange. You've got £58.75 liability, and will be a price digger when bets matched we're on. So we've got the field running for us, roughly around 4 to 9. I think that's good value. Well,
look, we've got to mention all of these, Danny, but are you looking at these two as well?
I don't like this race, but I've come down on New Definition just because the 4th in the listed event won by Richmond Stakes third Chateau.
Yeah, he's good.
I don't like the Prince of Pillow form. I think When Moon, out of the 2 that have won that Maidens, I would probably be with When Moon, but I thought I'd just go for the experience. But I do know what you mean, because came there travelling like a travelly thing last time out New Definition.
When I mentioned New Definition, I noticed you look up and I had a feeling you might there be with it.
But I was a bit disappointed it didn't go on.
When you sit in a room like we're doing at the moment, this is a bit of a fly-on-the-wall experience, isn't it, sometimes, you guys out there? And this is what we like about this show, and you do as well. You get these racing professionals in. Trust me, this is what the office is like. This is what the old betting shops used to be like. This is what the bar is with the screen at the moment, the racing pubs. We chat about it. And people generally get attached to their own opinions, don't they? Which are, in these cases, horses. And you definitely, I noticed your physicality changed there. I like it.
So, no, I mean, it's a big week for James Tate. It's quite weird, actually. You've got James Tate with Royal Acclaim.
Huge week.
And
well
then
done,
Middleham have got the Speedster.
Does that win the Nunthorpe Royal Acclaim?
40,000 supplementary.
Do you think
Platinum
it
Queen,
wins?
is she going to go? Yeah.
Polydor's booked.
Yeah.
She's a monster, isn't she? And our sprinting division's
Royal
right
Acclaim
for a
is
start.
11 to 8. I think very
that
short
what it is?
for the Nunthorpe at one point.
Get it up,
really
Mark, on the
short.
sportsbook. Put your phone down, man. Come on, let's get some sportsbook action up.
Again, I was keen to take on.
Barry's all over it, loves it.
Yeah.
Barry put it up when she won there.
I thought I was against her. But wow, she was impressive.
Staggering, really.
And again, like the horses have to be in this race to win it, she has improved £20 on a race both races every time she's gone to the track.
Is that right?
Yeah. Whether we see a 2-year-old in the race or not, well, it'll be interesting, won't it? There's no foreign raiders of actual note, aren't there, in it, I don't think. But look, it's one of the highlights at York. Of course, we've got the E-Ball coming up this time next week. Arch, you're back in for that.
I'm in. Yeah, late Super Sub, I know, sorry.
I don't know about that. Are you? I thought I had the winner of that, and then I'm not going to tell you obviously now, but I thought I had the winner of it, and then the trainer said, I'm not totally sure it's going to stay. So I need to really get my head down for that. Yeah, but it's an absolute treat next Saturday, isn't it? But look, here we are, second race of the day. Ripon joins the party, also up in Yorkshire. And there'll be loads of people going to York next week that are taking in this fixture as well and having a great day up there. Good luck then wherever you're playing.
6 to 4 Royal Acclaim.
6 to 4.
Yeah.
That is short.
In a Nunthorpe, having never run in a group race before. Wow. Okay, the horn blower This is interesting, isn't it? There is actually
This
a
is
horn blower
interesting. Well,
instead of a. And
something.
anyway, they are off, says the horn blower. And when Moon, perhaps unsurprisingly, like this, Mark, we've got the fence man. Does the exchange like it? 4 furlongs out.
Not on the lay. Principalio's 2.4 and running right now. When Moon 9-4.
Danny.
I didn't like Newdef. He looked very uncomfortable coming out and has really struggled to settle. But I mean, if I was in running, I'd like to be on When Moon.
I'm not sure. I think the Prince is cruising.
Come on. Yeah. I mean, I'm very happy right now.
He's handling the undulations like Poste. Was this the sort of ride you had there?
Yeah.
When Moon then attacks. Mark, what's the exchange saying? Come on, man.
Get him out, PJ. Get him out.
I think we'll be seeing 101 in a second.
We're a furlong out. 101, says Mark. The Prince takes
Come on,
on
Prince.
When Moon. He's giving him a load. I don't think Danny's totally out.
Come on, Callum. Come on, Callum.
Lift him, PJ.
Come on, Callum. Come on, Callum.
PJ. Come on, Callum.
Yes. Posty takes it out. Hard luck, Arch.
Nice.
The horn blower of the pack is indeed Charlie Poste. The trophy, the tipping trophy this Saturday.
For now.
To Posty. And I'll tell you what, Midland Park are having some time, aren't they, the syndicate owners there with their 2-year-olds. Whatever you make about the strength of that race, that travelled through that race like a beauty and put it to bed nicely. Mark, when did they know? You said 101 before the furlong marker.
Yeah, I was cheating. I was watching the Betfair Exchange, but it was slowly away. Went out to around 5-2, but quickly back into around 5-4, 6-4, and running went up against When Moon there. But the money was right for the Keith Dalglish horse. They're very impressive. Definitely took a leap forward from that air debut. When Moon was well beat there. New Definition ran on well, but the winner looks smart. Potentially 100 plus.
Could definitely go up a furlong and trip as well. I mean, it won on debut over 6, and he looks like he could go back up and trip.
No problems there. I love the way he travelled through that race. I just had a feeling, Mark, we were sitting duck.
Yeah, the money was right there. Bang on the money there.
There was a moment here I thought New Definition might, but then he kind of pulled it up and pulled away.
A little bit vociferous there, didn't
he?
He
got excited, He got excited,
Coldplay tickets weren't that expensive,
Yeah.
I thought it was good riding from Callum.
He chased away a little bit, wasn't he?
He managed to get him from being slowly away into a really good position.
Yeah. Being told by Dan Walsh in this year that Royal Acclaim's half-sister, is it half-sister? Yeah, runs into Curragh in 5 minutes' time. So, you know, if you're looking, I don't know, it's a good racing at the Curragh today, isn't there? Royal Acclaim, are you with or against? Come on, let's hear from you. Some York big hot pots next week, all right? The racing today, we're going to try and find you the winners. Posty, somehow, insufferably, is sitting on top. Danny, close but no cigar. Feeling that now the game's afoot, right?
Well, I think if we can't pick the winner in the next, I think we're going to be struggling.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Well, I wonder whether we might... Okay, we've got a hot pot coming up in the next. Let's just settle the dust on this, though. New Definition, I think we can now agree, is a proper 90 horse. He might struggle to win off 90, but he's running around 90, isn't he?
Yeah, I would agree. But
that chap has definitely run to what, 94 there, maybe?
495, I'd say. The winner looks smart.
Because the bare form of that maiden, as you said, was really weak. But he's clearly, you know,
he's improved.
above average.
Is it the Firth of Clyde, that sort of race? Is that for fillies, is it? I can't remember.
That's
isn't it?
a filly race.
Struggling, aren't you? Where are you going to go with a 2-year-old colt, you know, at this time? You might go Flying Childers? Donny?
I mean, that's back at 5 again, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a galloping 5. If you
yeah,
can get 5
no. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've seen quite a nice horse there. What's this? Let's have a look at his sire, of course. As well. So I've got a Prince of Lear. Well, that's got winning 2. A Majestic Missile, so it's all speed, isn't it? Mare. Okay, all right, great stuff. We're off and running at Ripon. We're off and running at Newbury as well. It's back to Berkshire. We now travel. There's your racing post.
Cornwallis.
Cornwallis, that's the one at Newmarket. That's
Ascot,
Newmarket, isn't it? Is it Ascot now?
It was.
Because we've had all that change up.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But anyway, I thought that could be.
Who was the Jonathan Portman filly that won it? The grey thing.
Was that the filly that won the Super Sprint as well?
She was a
She won the
brilliant
Super Sprint, didn't
2-year-old.
she? Yeah, and she was real.
That was
cheap.
at Newmarket, and I think that's when they moved the race. That's why I'm thinking I could be wrong, and it's all a bit of higgledy-piggledy.
Someone will tell us.
Someone will tell us out there. That's why you're out there. Listen, tell us where you are. Are you with an air conditioning unit like us at the moment? Are you by the pool? Are you indeed at the racetrack? We know people take the phones to the races and listen to us. Quite right too. This is, if you want to know where your money went or where it's hopefully going in the next couple of races, this is the place to be. Myself, Dave Orton, Charlie Post, Danny Arch, and Marc Hryhorskyj, the drone pilot. The first mention of the dear drone pilot. Yeah. He's with us today.
You need to be careful with that. I live quite close to Heathrow.
I didn't recognise you at first. I didn't recognise you at first without your cans on your ears. You know, we met in a coffee shop, didn't we? Just near the studio today, and I had to have a bit of a squint.
Yeah, it's definitely me. Not to worry, it's definitely me.
Do you wear them to bed? No. Noise reduction?
No, none of that.
It's not easy.
Mrs. Danvers, Dave.
Mrs. Danvers, Danny Archer, well done. You've got a great memory for one of your vintage, mate. We've said that before, and you've just nailed it again. The Portman superstar, it was Mrs. Danvers, indeed, as they go into the Curragh. Sunshine, great weather over in Ireland as well at the moment, isn't it? A little bit chillier. When's it going to rain? When is it
Next week, there is some forecast.
Up at York.
I don't know specifically at York, but there is rain forecast for next week.
And everyone's telling me it's a drought. Honestly, I'm not so sure.
You think it's a conspiracy?
No, don't go there. I wouldn't go down that rabbit hole. I've been down rabbit holes before, and it takes a long time to get out of one.
For you, it would.
I need some help. Absolutely, quite right. Touche. All right, 155 at Newbury is upon us. It's the Denford Stakes. No non-runners in here, Marc. 5 go to Poste. Is anything going to beat the classy Victory Dance?
I think it's difficult to oppose Victory Dance here. It was a good run behind Brian and Smart, Isaac Shelby at Newmarket. It was game as well. It was fought all the way to the line, stepped down in grade. I mean, again, on paper, it's difficult to see past Victory Dance. We're actually in the Racing Post office when this one ran on debut. Do you remember that?
We were.
And heads up, heads down, Barcelona.
Bresson was the horse that should have beaten it.
Yeah, and obviously I was doing the betting on the photograph, and I didn't know you were on Bresson.
Thanks for bringing that up, Marc.
Yeah, me and Barry and Sam Hart were on.
A toss of a coin, and the right men always on the right side of a coin toss, aren't they?
But yeah, like, I think Victory Dance is difficult to beat, and obviously we've not got the 3 places here for the each way angle.
So how do we play the race, Marc? Come on, because he's sitting around about. What is he in the exchange at the moment?
Off the outside, I think Sit Door for Hryhorskyj. I mean, that was a comfortable winner at debut at Bryant, but has to take a massive step up. I think she's interested in being thrown in here.
This is a black type mission, isn't it? This is a, come on, we've won well.
Yeah, but we'll go, what we'll do is we'll use the lengthen your odds capability on the Betfair Sportsbook here. We'll take a little bit of 15 to 8. No, it's 9 to 4 currently for Victory Dance to win by 2 lengths or more. It's currently 1.65 on the Betfair Exchange right now. But what we'll do is we'll have a £25 win at 9 to 4 for Victory Dance to win by 2 lengths or more. I can see Side Door outrunning our odds here. She's 36 on the Betfair Exchange right now. Holly Doyle takes the ride, and obviously this yard have already had a winner already. But a big step up, but the runners, they're going well at the moment from the stables, so maybe a place bet for that one. But Victory Dance looks difficult to beat.
And he's lengthening the odds, and as you'll know, our very own Bazza does that very successfully. So this is pressure time.
Yeah, no pressure.
But you like that as well, because you actually came in and said to Marc, I've lengthened my odds.
Yeah, with
I had to double take it.
The Gosden filly later on, but we'll get to that, won't we?
Yeah, you've done it.
Yeah.
I know. So I mean, you're a company man these days, aren't you? You've been doing this long enough.
I know
now.
which side my bread's buttered.
Honestly, you really do. You absolutely do. I bet the bread's good in Kinsale, isn't it?
Oh, I tell you, delicious. It almost had like a malt loafy sort of.
Did it? Yeah.
Honestly,
anyone else been to Kinsale?
Yeah.
Anyone watching from Kinsale? Charlie would like to move there. Arch. Victory Dance wins.
I'd be in agreement. I like that to win by 2 or more. I think Isaac Shelby's quite smart for the me and Clannon. Obviously, Godolphin. I was at Newmarket last night. They can't stop banging in winners.
Yes, they won the Frankel maiden, didn't they, with
Lenormand.
They had 1 3s on in the first, didn't they? And they blew up people on the double last night.
Yeah.
That pulled off in the Frankel maiden. They look like 3 good horses. No Frankel.
100 up for Buick as well.
Yes, very good. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go. I think interesting, a half-brother to Skitter Scatter, I think, obviously the Moyglare winner.
Do you know what? I'm going to pour a little bit of scorn on that. I'm sorry to say it. This Victory Dance lengthened the odds and they're going to be very, very impressive. Now, on form, he's already won this race, of course. There are some definite, unexposed, very interesting horses against him. Never mind Her Majesty's Candle of Hope, who probably Richard Hughes will be hoping might even be the best horse he's ever had, I would imagine, when you start off like this and you've got the breeding you have. Tom the Pom rides that one. And you've got Sight Door in there, as Marc said, for Nick Bradley, who had a frustrating run, and then it's all just taken off, isn't it? It's like loads of winners in the past fortnight or so. Holly Doyle on there. Ferrari Queen is the interesting one. The Johnsons win this race. At Zini's won this race. I spoke to Andrea yesterday. The sire he rode, Decorated Knight, he's won this race on Bilardo. I said, come on, you must fancy your chances. And he said, well, we're going to keep it simple, basically, and just get her into a lovely rhythm when she made all at Kempton last time. And I said to him, look, the one thing you might chink in the favourite's armour, that both runs, the Bresson run that you mentioned on the July course, he looked beaten.
Yeah.
And Bresson hung all the way over to the far side and definitely threw that away. Good horse, Bresson, but he's definitely got a kink. Was beaten next time and then won easily at Yarmouth in a Mickey Mouse race. But even again at Isaac Shelby, everyone expected him to beat them, and he looked beaten. He came back. Everyone said that was a game performance. I wonder whether there might just be. It's probably greenness.
Attitude, maybe. Don't know, we'll find out today.
Not often you get comments on your members club or in your Racing Post today of Charlie Appleby saying we'll be disappointed if he's beaten.
Yeah.
Didn't have to say that.
Yeah.
You know, so this is a proper horse. And is he still in the National Stakes, which is the one that they like to win, Native Trail, etc. Let's have a look. Is he still in it?
Let's have a look.
Yes, he is. So look, he's in the Champagne Stakes at Doncaster. They like to win that as well. I mean, who doesn't? But they certainly do. The National Stakes in the Royal Lodge is in the Dewhurst. This is the Pinatubo. This is the Native Trail. I think this is the one. This is the one they thought. They got the fella that was pulled out of the commentary that won at Ascot and then won at the July, but he's more of a sprinty type, I think. I can't remember his name at the moment. The one that was pulled out of the commentary.
They like the superlative, don't they? Which he was. I think the last year they had a nice winner of it. They've had a couple of good winners of the superlative, which have then gone on. So.
And Isaac Shelby is a horse that I've got a lot of time for. I put him up that day.
There's a lot of warm money for him on debut as well.
When Brian Meehan as a first time out winner, they're decent usually.
He did run a blinder on that occasion.
Okay, the religion of gravity. Gravity. They can tell why I was struggling. Okay, what does it say?
Got to go for the Queen's horse.
Got to go for the Queen's horse. Candle of Hope. They've even put it up in caps for me. It's like someone's shouting at me.
Travelled very well last time. Candle of Hope, quick in the way, smart.
And is the only course and distance winner in the pack. What do we make of this?
Course and distance winner, Richard Hughes, stable, 22% strike rate.
It's from a Queen's family on the dam side. You'll remember, of course, without going too crazy about the lineage, she had a period when I was first in racing where her stock waned, shall we say that?
Yeah.
And Sheikh Mohammed and the Aga Khan got involved, didn't they? And you know, I think Tipperary as well, and they all gave her some sires to breed her mares from. But if you ever see Kingdom of Fife in the dam side, which we are looking at here, the dam is called Good Hope. I think that was trained by Haggis from memory. I'm going to have a quick click on that and see. Oh, it was Michael Bell. 50-50 and I lost. But Kingdom of Fife was a right thinker, and it came from Flight of Fancy. Sir Michael Stout trained a filly called Flight of Fancy. It's that family. Bit Hryhorskyj-like.
Yeah.
You know, they definitely got their own ideas about the game. And we'll see what Candle of Hope.
It's a bit of money for her. 8s, 7.2. Notable mover, Side the War. I mean, that was 36s now into 22s for Harry Eustace. Impressive on debut at Brighton, quick and smart, but obviously needs to take a step up.
Did the half-sister to Royal Acclaim win at the Curragh? I'm assuming it didn't. Guys in the gallery, did it win? No, it didn't. It ran terribly. So that's not an omen for you out there.
Mark, what price is Victory Dance Ferrari Queen forecast?
I'll get that one for you just now. Let's see this up on the exchange. Yeah, give it that one for you. 2 to beat 5. 7 to 2.
Lots of people will be, of course.
That's
on
what
There's 5,000 in the exchange market right now, so you can get matched if you want to have a bet.
You'd be looking for Andrea to give this one a lead for as long as possible.
And then, probably get Nab late on.
Probably get Nab late on. But there has been money for the Ferrari, isn't there? Really well named.
6 to 1.
And if any jockey out there looks like he drives a Ferrari, it's Azzini. He's a cool Italian customer.
Yeah.
Did his interview with me yesterday in shades. Went through a tunnel at one point. It's like he put an effect on it. It's like he was,
like the Italian
like John Travolta in the club. He had the open shirt and everything.
Yeah.
He's on 199 winners for He Who Must Be Obeyed. Sheikh Obeyed. So I said next time you do it, and the 2-year-old was supposed to win the first yesterday, 2 green.
Could be later in the Hungerford.
Could be in the Hungerford, yeah. Got a really interesting horse there, Dubai Poet, hasn't he? All right, good luck wherever you may play in the 155. We're here, it's the Denford time. Is Victory Dance going to skip clear and lengthen the odds in style for Marc Hryhorskyj? Danny Archer likes that as well. None of us think this is getting beat, do we?
No.
All right, so we're not laying this chap, that's for sure. If you have, Godspeed. Let's hope they all jump off in a line. And I think this might be a strong form race going forward. He's jumped out really, really well. In fact, everything's off okay, isn't it? We're expecting Azzini on the grey, the unbeaten Ferrari, to whiz to the front. And she's just about done that. Sight Door under Holly is settled really nicely. Unlike Blue Light Beige, the most experienced, but has got no cover as well.
He was keen at Goodwood as well, the last day. Yeah.
He's a nice horse. He's got a lot of scope about him, but he's probably a 3-year-old. The favourite's exactly where you want him, lads. And Candle of Hope, I guess that Tom Mark has been told by Richard Hughes, sit out the back, see what we've got. Marc Hryhorskyj, what do you like?
Yeah, right now Victory Dance, 2's on and running. Ferrari Queen 7 to 2 from 7s and running. He's got this one settled in front. It's probably the one.
Is she doing a bit too much, the Ferrari?
No, I don't think so.
The revs are not too high for you, Danny?
I'm loving it. And I'm loving in the slipstream victory dancing. This forecast could be coming on, actually.
Well, this is it's at this point in his races where he has run green before. So let's see how much he's learnt at home from that superlative stakes. All to play for then. 2.5 furlongs out. Poste?
Yeah, I'm happy at the moment. Blue Light Boy hanging to his left quite badly. Charlie Bishop struggling to keep him straight.
Tom's the closer, isn't he?
Tom Marcont's a danger.
Candle of Hope travelling very well.
The light is burning bright on Candle of Hope at the moment. The Ferrari.
Come on, William, let it go.
Just trying to find fifth gear at the moment, Anzini, but victory. Come on then.
Come on, William, let it go.
You've lengthened your odds.
Let it go.
Come on, the forecast.
Come on,
William, let it go.
You wanted to see, lads.
Come on, the forecast.
Yeah, come on, the forecast.
it on, Will.
She's
William, let it go.
she's got
Put it on.
Come on, the
Candle of
forecast.
Hope.
Come on, the forecast.
Happy days, not just the odds on winning you get here. Oh no, you get a length in your odds and you get a forecast. That's what we like. Small field, but so many ways to play it. Mark, that was easy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think.
Did we get the 2 lengths
That's
or not?
2 lengths? I think that's tight.
1.5.
That was 2 lengths, wasn't it?
Hang on.
I think
He has
1.5.
eased up, though.
He's eased up a bit.
That's
Length and 3/4.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank goodness for the forecast.
Yeah, we got the forecast though. Yeah.
I don't know what to make of that because he's obviously a classy unit, isn't he? And,
Professional performance.
enough, didn't he?
Yeah.
But he's
Black Friday
105 and he's given weight to 2 fillies rated 85 and 89, who are obviously going to go up in the ratings now. If I was the handicapper, I'd probably leave him where he is. So a boost for
rating,
Isaac
yeah.
Shelby, shall we say?
Yeah, definitely.
Smart.
But you'd be
But
thinking
you like that.
Yeah. No complaints, no nonsense today. Done the job. Probably should have eased up.
Yeah. The 2 fillies will end up 90 plus, won't they? After that, I'd have thought. Candle of Hope, Ferrari
they've got the
Queen.
debutante stakes and races like that. But the Ferrari Queen's shown certain limitations there. I think run style. She's bred to be middle distance, isn't she? So,
But she'll go up in trip, definitely. Yeah.
She's on again at the finish.
Yeah.
I wonder what to make of Candle of Hope there.
Travelled very strong.
Beautiful.
Went quite short in running.
Didn't
as well.
find much.
No.
Didn't find a great deal.
Traded 3-1 in running for decent money.
Yeah, and has seen off the 96 rated Blue Light Boy, who I guess if the handicapper was looking at that, you'd be thinking.
He looks exposed, and he was hanging left the whole way. Charlie Bishop could hardly really
I reckon
ride
he'll win
him.
a handicap at Glorious Goodwood next year.
Yeah.
He's that sort of model for me. And sight door.
He looks a big horse. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, he is a big horse, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he got no cover there whatsoever. All right, so we're rocking and rolling at Newbury. Can't be too long until we go back to, is it Ripon next? What's coming up
Back
next?
to Newbury.
Newmarket 210, is it?
Newmarket, of course.
Newmarket, sorry.
The
Yeah.
210. We've got 10 minutes until the mile 6 handicap for fillies. A couple of very interesting 3-year-olds. Frankie, coming back onto your screens out there. Riding for Gosden on Atlantis. An absolute hot pot. Australian Angel there as well. But that is your Betfair SP of Victory Dance. And I've got zero idea what it says. Anyone with proper eyes?
1.82.
1.82.
Yeah. 1.62? Hang on a minute.
1.62, sorry.
Oh,
Should have gone the
playing is
Specsavers.
there. Yeah.
The adverts, I mean, I'm telling you, we need some bins. Absolutely. They've moved the monitor away from us. It used to be right there, and even then I struggle. But anyway, there we go. All right. Is there a drought out there at the minute? That's another thing. My senior producer just will not let this go. The BBC says there's a drought out there.
Last night at
So we'll all
Newmarket,
believe that.
between 3 and 5 furlong, obviously Pete Tong was on after racing, so I was
Did
in
it
there.
rain?
I was in there raving. But the amount of water they're putting on between the 3 and the 5, I was actually staggered. So that looked the bit that they were really struggling with.
If you've never seen a course being watered after racing, it is a fascinating thing to watch because they put 3 or 5 mil is a lot of water. It turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that particular area, so it'll be interesting to see how it rides today. But no, it looked pretty quick last night, and I'm sure it's only just going to get quicker this weekend.
Hot off the press, I thought my eyes were bad. I mean, you're going to have a serious problem when you get to 46 like me, let me tell you.
Pete Tong good or not?
I like Pete Tong.
Yeah. I'm going to see him in December.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah, I've
I
seen
saw
him in
it in
December.
the O2. He did orchestral.
Yeah, it's very good.
Is that what he did? Yeah. Very good. Massive attack.
And it was sold out. It's the only meeting which is sold out of them nights and everything. So there was a good crowd.
You were right in there.
A few
You're looking
lively
fresh face for
characters.
that, Archer. I can
And
tell
Yeah, not bad. Not
Can't
bad.
play tonight. I tell you what, the dream's alive for Archer, isn't it? Absolutely. Whether you're a fan of these racecourse concerts or what, I don't know. I think they've been good for racing because it obviously gets people through the door.
Good for getting
Whatever
a
you
younger
think
crowd
about
as
it.
well. Younger generation. Windsor's quite good for that.
And again, I don't know if I've ever told you, but I have been racing down in Australia before.
Yeah.
And they've cracked it. They've absolutely cracked it. They get a DJ afterwards, and all the suits are there, and that's one of the. And they obviously like their horse racing a bit more, I would say, the young ones down there, but they've cracked it. And if you ever go racing down in Australia and you're young, the music afterwards is it's mental. It's crazy. It's a proper rave, I would say. And that's very, very much part of it. Anyway, so there we are. I'm being told we get a bigger monitor for next week, so you're all right. Don't worry just yet. You've got a lot of time yet.
The optician lied to me when they said I've got 20/20 vision, that's for sure.
Yeah. You definitely haven't, mate. Maybe not driving though. All right, okay. Victory dance and guineas, Marc Hryhorskyj. Have we got any quotes coming our way?
Yeah, I'll get them up for you just now.
Please do.
Victory dance.
Gordon Elliott's up at Perth as well. Just saw him.
Good feels at Perth. Strong feels in Ireland as well. Tony Mullins, I noticed, tweeted yesterday to one of our articles saying there's the same problem over here with trainers leaving the game in small fields, but we're just not banging on about it. I don't know if you watch the Curragh today, there's bar the Luxembourg race. Luxembourg today, by the way, guys.
Exciting, really. Great to see him back, isn't it? And with a lot of 3-year-olds flopping.
Well, bar Luxembourg, their colts are average, aren't they?
Stouty's the Derby winner.
Their colts, sorry.
Oh, their colts, yeah. I mean, they from a point of view, if you go by that they need at least one sire every year, they could really do with Luxembourg being the one, couldn't they?
Well, he runs in the Royal Whip today. We could yet have a new favourite for the Arc if he goes and tears it a new one today, couldn't we? He's a very interesting horse.
Yeah, and I think there was a lot of positives to take from the Guineas run. I think he stumbled out the stalls
Yeah.
the way he stayed on. So, would he have won the Derby with Desert Crown?
That will always be an unknown, isn't it? So, is he that sort of calibre of horse?
It would have been a great race,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? You know,
Yeah.
it'd been a real
I think
good
we need
matchup.
him to come back in style today, don't we?
Yeah.
If you're lengthening your odds, that might be the race to do it in. Just after we go off air this afternoon here on Racing Post Live, in association with Betfair on the way. Great to have Marc Hryhorskyj in. Marc, we can say that you've had a winner now at least.
Yeah, maybe. We've not got the official, but maybe 1.5. But Victory dance 16-1.
It wasn't
for the
too
Guineas.
late, man.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I think you were getting a bit optimistic. I think he eased down.
16s for the Guineas.
Yeah, Victory dance.
On the sportsbook, yeah?
Little Big Bear, yeah, 9-2, Naval Power 10-1. 16-1 could still be a bit of value. But on to the 2 at Newmarket. I know Charlie's quite keen on Atlantis here. I'm not so sure about the form at Doncaster last time out. I mean, won by 4.5. But I thought it was a really poor Class 4. Got £9 for that. I like Jamie Spencer and Alan Kingsea Sylph here. This one was around 5-1 earlier. It's 10s on the Betfair Exchange right now. So unfortunately, there's only 2 places on offer. So I think this is the perfect back to lay because this one always travels well but doesn't find a lot. Traded short on the BSP in the last 4 runs. So that will be the bet here on the Betfair Exchange. We can showcase the Betfair Exchange capabilities.
Please do.
We'll have a nice back to lay. Jamie Spencer, hopefully on the bridle. We'll have £25 win at 10s on the Betfair Exchange. And we'll lay this one off. We'll try and get out, let's just say, we'll try and get out at 7-2. 7-2, 1 sec. 3.4.5 on the Betfair Exchange. And we'll save this one and we'll lock it so we can get matched, hopefully, in running. Be interesting to see what Atlantis does here. If it backs up that performance last time out, but I'm not so sure about the form. I don't think it's that strong.
Well, let's go to a man who disagrees with that, and it's the Poste. And at the moment, you've put up a winner and a forecast. Whatever was in Kinsale, I'm imagining lots of oysters and good bacon and multi bread. You need some more sea air, man, because it's done you a lot of favours.
Yeah, I mean it has. Yeah, I might go back next week to be honest. Or so maybe on the run up to every show.
Could you run the yard remotely from over there?
I'd give it a go.
I bet you would.
Yeah.
I bet you would. Yeah. Point to point is better over there, I hear as well.
Yeah.
Contentious point. Why does this win so far today then? Because you would lengthen your odds beyond?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm lengthening the odds and for 2 lengths or more. I mean, look, we're talking about 260 grand, see the stars fully, handicap debut. I mean, surely there is an element that last time you can only beat what is put up in front of you. And she beat them pretty cosy, to be honest, over 1.5 miles. And I don't see why the extra 2 furlongs should be an issue. 3-year-olds have a great record in this as well. They won 4 of the 6 run-ins of this race. Big weight for age allowance at this time of year. And yeah, it's a sort of horse that the Goslings do very well with. And like I say, she's a sort of horse with the money she costs that there could be group race aspirations further down the line. And
she
if
ought to be staying, I think. I mean, she's a See the Stars out of a
Sir Percy mare.
There you go. So 2 Derby winners. So you would think that she would light up a little bit. I'll tell you why I've gone against her. I was with the Haggis horse that beat her, and that's a good one. A mark of 80 on her handicap debut last time. That undercooked her. She beat a horse. She was beaten by a horse called See on Time, who made it 2 from 3 when beating her at Doncaster. Look, beaten all the way. And if you remember that day, Rab Havlin got a little bit of stick for not getting her up, but she was horrible that day. She hung all over the place. She looked really, really green. From a horse of Michael Stout's called Trader, a natural lad. Do you remember the bumper horse?
Yeah.
And it was hers to win that day. Sia Time ran at Salisbury in the week and put up a Racing Post rating on her handicap debut of 102. She's a proper horse. I don't think there's any disgrace in that, but she did roll around a bit, and of course she won cheap pieces. Were on when she won at Donny. If there are any chinks, I thought it might potentially be that she wanders about late on. If she does that, I still think Australian Angel has got more to give, and she's getting £7. And it's just a horse I've been with, Australian Angel.
Yep.
So I'm sticking with her. I didn't think there'd be that much in the market between them, but I'm perfectly, aware of the fact that Atlantis might be ready to show her peak, and this is a small stakes race for me as well. It's the first race of 7 today at Newmarket. Danny Archer.
I'm with Poste because just in case it wins, he needs someone to carry his luggage to the Atlantis in Dubai. No, I'm available.
This is a heavy old trophy.
Yeah, it is.
Will it get through security?
Depends what's in it.
It took a while to get going, Atlantis, but when did I think everything clicked into gear? And I thought Cecil was the danger, but Australian Angel was one for money, I think, earlier. But no, I'm happy to be with
these
Atlantis
balding fillies. Australian Angel, Hayley Turner gets on. They're so consistent, aren't they? And they just seem to hold their form so well. Cue her being in season or something. But I thought Single was overpriced here for the Shannons. Really finds it hard to win off her current mark, but this is a slight drop in grade, and of the older horses, I would have had her shortened 16-1 anyway with Franny on.
She's 20s on the Betfair Exchange right now.
Yeah, so again, I would have a little saver on that because it's capable of taking this out if it's in the mood.
I've got Franny Orton on board now. Will.
Franny. It's not Franny, did you say?
Oh, sorry, no, it is.
Hornby on board, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're watching the lovely looking grey going to Post under Frankie.
Atlantis is 7-4 to win by 2 lengths or more.
7-4.
Yeah, to win by 2
You're
lengths
happy
or
with
more.
that?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that is an interesting way to play it, and Posty's got some credit to play with after his last.
Favourite
couple
short
of
enough
races.
as well as 1.9 to 1.84. It's 150,000 match the market right now in the Betfair Exchange.
Okay, all right.
I see the Gosdens are now training Lionel.
Yes.
From David Moinisier.
Oh, really?
That was a loud move, wasn't it? Well, David doesn't hide under a bushel on social media. He's top man, David, but he was slightly vociferous about it, wasn't he?
A French analogy, I think I didn't.
There's
really
quite a bit of
understand.
that, but I think he said, that's the game. We'll find another one, though. And I think I would have left it there, but quite a few people still poking the bear as we do with Graham Rodway. We've got the grey race coming up, haven't we, in about an hour at Newmarket. Fan of that? There used to be about 20 runners.
I know.
Today we've got about 5.
4.
About 4.
Yeah.
I know.
So is there also a shortage of greys?
Ask Graham Rodway. I mean, if he was
A
here.
drought of
Should
greys.
we have a grey jumps race? That's what I was going to ask you. Is there one? There isn't one, I don't think, is there?
The jumping would be spectacular. Is that right? Was
Well,
that
according to Rodway,
yeah.
the statistics say they'd be walking through every fence.
Yeah.
He got it so spectacularly wrong.
It's
But I know what
actually-
he means.
is it
He thinks about
chestnuts
Money's Garden, doesn't he? He thinks about Desi and all those.
One man, yeah.
brilliant jumpers.
Yeah.
Of course, you could, but when he does crunch the numbers, it's actually chestnuts that came out.
Yeah.
That's weird, isn't it?
Very strange.
Very odd.
But is that because there's less of them? I don't know.
And again, I'm relying on his facts being right, but like his figures being right. But he's at the moment, he is in New York, I think, or he was in New York, G-Rod. He's down in Canada. He's on some sort of trip down there. We were going to get him on to do a VT because we didn't have a clue about the Greys race, and he can tell us. But should there be a Greys jumps race? It's going to be 5 days at... I'll tell you what, that's another word that's come up this week as well, isn't it? Cheltenham's being mentioned again, Posty. I bet you love that in Kinsale, didn't you?
Oh, God, yeah.
Another Guinness, please, Barber.
Yeah, please, yeah.
I know, it's middle of August, isn't it? It's ridiculous. But, of course, there have been some changes to the National Hunt game. Have you seen this?
That, and also, I mean, the flat season hasn't really, for me, lit much fire in my belly. I'm kind of waiting for the jump. It hasn't. I don't think it's been a fantastic flats. I know you've got the likes of Bar Eden, and the Desert Crown was great in the Derby, but I think on social as well, a lot of people are saying
the small fields are doing everyone's head in, Danny, and again we've got a lot of soft ground horses that are waiting to come out and play, and they're not at the moment. So that's probably another reason. So look, it's a long way to go. It could be a great end to the flat season. It's such a good narrative, but the Cheltenham.
Maybe we should have a consolation county hurdle.
that'll be a cracker. Willie Mullins got 6 in it.
Well, I mean,
you've got to have 4 runs now, by the way. Statham wouldn't have got
and
it.
6-year-olds, no bumpers for them after the end of the season.
Yeah.
Madness, isn't it?
Who
But
thought
if
that
they
one
were
up?
going to have 5 days at Cheltenham, that's where I was going with that. Then
Grey jumps race.
We've just created one of the races.
Yeah, a consolation county.
Like people go down for the cross country, you'd go to the start for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Andy Sim comes on into the social corner and says, Atlantis starts my singles, doubles and trebles. You're with Poste then. Sizzling at the moment is Poste.
Yeah, don't touch me.
I'm going to Kinsale next week. Never mind York. I would never want to touch you. See what shorts you got on.
Hey, I got stung by a wasp while I was away.
Did my son got stung by a wasp? Did you get it out? It really
No,
hurts,
look at the big red mark there.
Blimey, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, listen, Danny Archer, I'm going to throw to him now because you're sick of me calling. I've done the first couple. Let's give Archer one. A bit of class coming on for the mile 6 handicap for fillies.
Lanfranco waiting to go in on Atlantis. Good luck, Posty here with 2 lengths or more.
Yep.
On Atlantis. Cecil for you, Marc.
Back to Leigh,
An
yeah.
Australian Angel.
Jimmy
Dar
Spencer
Angel,
on the
Babe
bridle.
Orton. Good start from Atlantis. Bit slightly awkward from the stall zone. Jamie Spencer straight away to the back of the field. Cecil. Will it be a Spencer special on Cecil? But Frankie trying to make use of Atlantis. Early betting update. Marc?
Yeah, 1.8, 1.74 Frankie here. Odds on favourite, comfortable here. Australian Angel 3.85. C Silva for Jamie Spencer. It's out to around 20 to 1 now. Very keen. They're not going much pacier either. It's probably going to suit Frankie to
Well,
a T
this is
here.
interesting, look, because
2's on already, Frankie to
look, Jamie Spencer's not sitting in last because he's seen his old rival Frankie from the front. And what happens when Frankie's in front? The clock
wins.
will be.
Steals it from the
they're not
front.
even bothered putting up a clock for this because he's probably under 30.
1.5 and running Frankie Dettori right now in the Betfair Exchange.
You're happy?
Very.
Just stacking them up, isn't he, really?
Yeah.
I'm very happy on Australian Angel. I think what happened there? Why were you in? I was looking down at the screen.
Bit awkward on the rail, I think. They got a bit tight
James
for a
already
run.
clipped heels, I think.
Yeah.
Just taken back.
There was a
very
clip of
sharply.
heels at Wolverhampton yesterday. Richard Kingscote came off a stout filly. We've seen a bit of it recently. There you go. Interesting point.
I think it's because of a lack of water.
Interesting that Spencer's gone right up to Atlanta now on
Yeah.
kind of in the wind mirrors.
Yeah, he's shortened right up. Jamie
I'll
Spencer
tell you
is
what,
12 to 1.
all
now.
considered for the weather as it is at the moment, what a beautiful surface that looks at Newmarket. That is, I mean, they're definitely
I think the
getting
Clarks,
turn
of
a bit,
course,
aren't
do
they?
deserve it. I mean, like
Absolutely
Goodwood,
brilliant.
I mean, crikey, to provide the ground they did all week with the conditions, testament to those guys.
Tremendous, yeah. All right, so
girls.
Danny, we're around about what? We're around probably about 7 furlongs out, aren't we?
Yeah, it's still pretty. It's interesting though. Spencer's
Yeah.
now gone
He
wide.
makes a move.
He's done a Nash one.
He was watching the watering with you at Pete Tong
He
last night.
was. Jamie was there, of course, watching.
Sort of comes
Front row.
EB out of it.
Yeah.
Australian Angel shortening up 6 to 4 and running.
Yeah, I'm
Here he
happy
turns
with her.
cantering here.
You could lengthen your odds against me now if you like. I'll take that 7 to 4 on.
Australian Angel in the wind mirrors now. Still Cecil on the outside. Single and Rosalia.
She's going all right,
5.
single. I think she
Atlantis.
might run a
Frankie
biggie.
still.
He's got a bit there,
This is
hasn't he?
where the attitude comes into question. I think we're half a mile out, guys.
They've gone that slow. They should all be travelling, though, shouldn't they? Crikey.
Yeah, but it's her attitude, isn't it? She's got. Do you think she'll have a look at the crowd here if there is one there?
The Angel is going well.
Come on, the
Hayden
Angel. She
Turner.
stays. This we know.
Frankie's already getting to work. 3 furlongs out.
Poste's
Into
getting
the
something
concern.
out of Tracy. Marc, how's the back to lay game?
Yeah, it's looking okay now. He's 6 to 1 on running just now. Single on the outside, 7 to 2 in running here.
I'm
Cantering
not
in behind.
surprised.
Frankie's given a couple of backhanders.
Thanks,
Still
Frankie.
Australian
Yeah.
Angel and Single now coming through. Single's one who has travelled sweetly
Single's
under
cruising,
Franny
yeah.
Norton.
She's a right old mare, Atlantis, isn't she? She's got still more under the bonnet. She's just not.
Still wins, lads.
You think she still wins?
pretty slow
Look at
motion
Franny
stuff,
on the
isn't it?
outside. This is
Singles,
single.
3's on. Singles,
I
1
said
on 1.
this was no
Singles.
16 to 1 shot. I didn't expect this. Ah, you're
Singles
so
now goes
posty.
on. Atlantis.
What goes up
The
must come
Tories
down,
giving it
Charlie
up.
Post.
It's Singles surely away here,
wins.
Franny Norton.
Franny. There you
That's the
go.
one you fancy, Dave, as well.
Yeah, well, I just said I had a little saver on her because
course you did.
this is easier than what she's been coming up against.
What, you're claiming that?
Listen, if you wind it back, I said I was going to have a saver on it.
Okay.
Sorry. We get competitive.
yeah.
Here it is. It's coming this side of the fence all of a sudden.
Fire.
I don't think any of us expected that, guys, did we? Someone on the mighty Gomez in the chat says Atlantis. And now Posty, I'm going to add to that, sunk without a trace. Quite very, very good out there, wasn't I think of that one.
Didn't trade that short, Dave, at all. Only traded 1.54 for £22. Thought it would have traded shorter.
What, the Angel?
Atlantis, the Frankie Dettori.
I don't know. She looked at half a mile out. I wasn't happy.
Australian
If you
Angel
want that.
traded shorter, 1.44.
But what, I mean, single at this point, Franny must be thinking, hang on a minute, why is this not one? I mean, she's £12 higher than the last winning Marc when she was beaten last time. This is quite a career best, but she's got loads of experience and she has been asked some big questions before in staying races, this one.
It's matched the 80s in running for £7.
I think I put her up as a nap last year when I was doing the eye catcher column or something on the app, and she got nutted. And ever since I've just sort of followed her a little bit, but didn't expect that. Fillies in the sun, and I think Australian Angels probably run to a mark, couldn't she? Atlantis.
Oh, it was very disappointing, wasn't it?
You might be finding her coming to you. You never know.
Yeah.
Get her over a pole.
Some obstacles, yeah.
Point to point. Why not? All right, okay, great stuff. We're off and running at Newmarket. We've got the Greys race to come there. We must have another race in between that, mustn't we? I would imagine.
I think I got matched on that Civilla for Jamie Spencer as well. I don't know how that's happened, but we'll take it.
Well, he came there on the outside, and that's why I asked you. You actually called that beautifully. She's fallen in a massive hole.
Yeah, she fell in a hole. She finds absolutely nothing for pressure. Reminds me of
done,
Geordie
Marc.
Land a little bit, you know?
I think you can be credited with that. So the first trader for Betfair today goes flying in the back to lay. Horse that goes short in running and doesn't pull it off, basically. The next race is a falls-on shot at Newmarket. Funnily enough, for the boys in blue, another 2-year-old, so we'll be giving that a swerve. So the next race from HQ on the July course will be the Greys race, where Johnny Portman's horse, I think, is now finding itself favourite, just the 5 runners in that. All right, that must mean that we are going back to Newbury for the 2:30. Oh yes, indeed. It is the first of the big races, the known races, if you like. The Geoffrey Freer Stakes come up. Funnily enough, lads, another small field.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to suggest it's always a small field, is it?
I think a race like this often would be, wouldn't it? You know, as in, I don't think these sort of races are the concern, is it?
I'll tell you what, it's been won by some good uns over the last couple of years. Hookham.
Not so sure this year.
Didn't he? Not so sure about this year?
No.
Well, let's give the floor to Hryhorskyj first, shall we? The drone pilot can set off with his selections now.
I thought it was quite an interesting betting market here. Got away he goes 2-1, Zakara 5-2, Outbox 5-1. Zakara obviously gets to wait for age here. On paper, looks like this winner. This one was around 7-4 yesterday. The yard's not in great form, and again, I'm not so sure about the Royal Ascot form. I quite like the Archie Watson's highly tried Outbox. Holly Doyle takes the ride, wants fast ground, small field.
Do you think it's going to lead?
Yeah, listen, this one was around 8-1 yesterday. It's around 5-1 on the Betfair Exchange. Look, the perfect back to lay, because I think she's going to lead. So that's how we're going to play this one. We're going to use the Betfair Exchange capabilities. We're going to back Outbox currently 5-1 for £25, and we'll try and get out around 15-8, 7-4 and running. So I don't think it's that good a race, and we know this one's going to go forward. So that's how we're going to play this on the Betfair Exchange. It's got £25 maxed, 5-1, and we're going to lay this one off. We'll go for around 7-4, 15-8, and we'll go for a 35, so we can get a green book there. We'll keep this one. So if this one gets matched around 7-4 and running, we'll have a nice green book. I think this one's going to go forward, might be able to dominate the small field. Has the ground in her favour as well.
It's classy enough to do it.
Yes, yeah. I don't think it's a strong race.
Lots of our judges at the Post put up away he goes at the start of the week, guys, who of course is a Newbury winner, and finished second last year to
Trushan in the
Trushan, and this year he finished 5th, didn't he? He would be Ishmael Mohammed's flag bearer. He goes to Maidan and places like that, and they thought, did he go to the Melbourne Cup? He was going to go. Oh yeah, of course they didn't. He was one of the ones after his 9th place, I remember now, in the Ebor that might have gone and done that silly quarantine. But they thought better of it.
Staples flying just now, 27% strike rate.
Is this a sort of race that these horses that come away from the big staying races, they ought to be going very close here? I'm not totally convinced I want to be with him at that price though, Danny. You?
But the problem is yesterday he was a much bigger price.
That's
so I was with him then. I'm with Marc on the Zechariah form. I'm not that convinced. I think he got quite a good ride from. I think Colin Keane rode him in that Royal
So
Ascot
nearly
race.
made it 1 from 45, didn't he, Ascot?
Yes, indeed.
So nearly.
I'm still not over the Westover. I think we did the Irish Derby together, but it wasn't as glamorous in the King George.
Don't ask. It
I
was a
thought
bit
Rafe
of a
Beckett
crazy.
handled that quite well.
He did,
He
yeah.
seemed to be quite
For Rafe.
fiery, you know, as in that was
For Rafe. There was a lot of pausing in that interview that I saw him do, though. But
Will
yeah.
Rob Hornby be back on for the Ledger? I'm not sure. Interested to.
I think they'll be stubborn and go with Colin again.
Yeah, I think it's hard for them to back down, isn't it, from that? You know, as in, like,
absolutely.
yeah.
And the horse might travel as well, so that would be Colin's bag, I think. So.
Did Zachariah? Did he half throw it away at Ascot? I can't quite remember.
He
Is it-
attacked off the home bend in
Yeah.
the Queen's Vase, didn't he? Like went for, and another horse was with him in that. I can't remember what it was. They went a long way out. And actually, the winner, Eldorov, did very well to pick up because it was a muddling old pace. He then went to the Bahrain Trophy. Yeah. So many horses go from the Queen's Vase after a big one in that to the Bahrain Trophy, one of the first races of the July meeting that we have in the July course, and they flopped. This chap did. I'd be willing to give him a chance, but not over Universal Order, who's mine. So your way he goes, Dan?
Yeah.
Think that he'll just keep it simple and do it.
I think the thing is, if he can recapture his old form, my only big concern is he would like a bit of cuts. I think he's a better horse with cut in the ground, but I just thought maybe class could prevail here. Okay, he's got to give weight to, well, most of the field, particularly Zachariah, but Universal, you like Universal. I think we've been on before, so I can understand that shout from you.
Forgive that run last time because it was a bounce, I think, behind Rebel's Romance, who's since proven himself to be a rather tasty horse. He runs in Germany, doesn't he? This weekend, I think he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he's in the
James Dorr rides
the Grosser Prix van Berlin. Have you ever been racing in Germany?
No.
Neither have I. Like to do it. Had a conversation with Tony Carroll not that long ago.
Racing Post live trip.
Hey, absolutely. I think if I had to go that way, I'd like to do the Parda Biche. Ever been there?
No.
Ever get a chance of riding it?
No, I would have actually been.
It's sort of thing you would have loved to have done. Yeah. We've all seen you with a bike. We know, even on the screens again recently, a madman like that, haven't you? Universal Order, forget that last time out behind a very good horse, but he just didn't turn up. And I said yesterday when I was previewing this race on the shows that if he'd have won second or third, I'd have been a bit more disappointed with that for this race. It's too bad to be true. And the second time up second, behind Contact at Haydock, that was a whopping eye-catching run. Andrea, I told him yesterday actually, pressure's off. You've got to ride him as if he's not in a race.
He was hampered that day as well.
He was badly hampered, and Contact, since placed at Royal Ascot and things like that. This is a classy chap. He's obviously had his problems, and it'll all be about whether he comes on his A game. But at what price is he on the exchange, Mark?
He's currently 8.2.
You can take a chance at that. Yeah. It's just worth taking a chance because he's classy enough. And if they do go a bit cat and mousey, he's the one that will prosper, I think. I'm expecting them to. Are you, Poste?
I'm with Marc outbox under a positive ride.
What happened?
They were shockers. But I mean, Belmont, the whole thing was a disaster, wasn't it? He didn't really break. He got trapped wide. He just never happened at all. But I mean, he's good form like last year with Hookham, and his return from his overseas travels against Living Legend was fine. Last two runs have been below par, but I mean, hopefully he's been freshened up by the sounds of it. And
I think the key to him is leading.
Yeah,
he led behind on his return at Newmarket. He led.
Yeah, it was Living Legend in Newbury. Got turned over at 4-1 that day.
Yeah, it wasn't his return actually, but because he won in Doha, didn't he? But that day he can miss the kick a bit, and when he was sixth behind Illarab, you remember he missed the break that day and he got rushed up. I remember covering that show, and Holly Dodd had no chance whatsoever. With Glenn Shiel retiring this weekend.
Yeah.
Everyone's had a bit on Glenn Shiel and cheered at some point, haven't they? Great to see that old warrior going out. I think Holly said it was the toughest horse she's ever ridden.
Yeah. Yep, they were a good double act.
Yeah,
weren't they?
In these colours for Hambledon Racing, of course, and Archie Watson, her governor. And so look, if he gets the lead, expect it to go short on the exchange. Anything going to try and take it on for the lead?
I don't think so. I think she might get a cheap lead here.
Yeah, I kind of thought that. And
I wonder whether hubby will let her go, because he obviously Tom Marc on, because Zechariah's a horse that probably... I mean, what happened to the Bahrain Trophy last time? Did they try and hold on to it a bit more? From memory, it was a bit free. Ryan Moore was on it. Yeah, it was. I did that race.
He was keen, was he?
Took keen hold, and they put it back in midfield. It didn't really work. He didn't like it.
I mean, they're trying to say it was too soon after Ascot, aren't they? So
the Meads are in pretty good form as well, aren't they? They're
80% run to form.
You don't often see 80s out there. William Ackes would be happy with that one. Silence Please is a nutter.
Yeah.
That's the one we haven't mentioned for the Baldings and David Probert.
10's on the Betfair Exchange right now. Matched around 16, so a bit of money for that one.
Really?
Yeah.
No wins since June 2020.
It was the York run which made me think, behind Believe in Love, and then it went to Coltrane in a race it probably was 9-1 shot and was going to struggle on that. They are going down at Newbury for the 2:30. Premiership back today. Watford won last night. I'm over the moon about that. Coventry.
Millwall away today.
Interesting start to the season for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, interesting in so much as that, we don't have a pitch to play on right now.
It's dreadful up there, isn't it?
Yeah, well...
Good team, though, Coventry. Did well last year, didn't they?
They did, yeah. I was saying with a couple of players...
I'm looking forward to our match.
Yeah, so am I. Big time. Hopefully we can hold on to a couple of our bigger players. It's got silly season, hasn't it? And the transfer window is sort of narrow, is coming to an end, and Premier League teams desperate to sign anyone, it seems, at the moment. So.
I'm loving life in the Championship. Danny, remind me your team.
Well, mainly my non-league. I'm a Kingstonian fan. They're my big teams. They kick off today against Margate, the Glamour.
I love this.
Down
in Margate.
But yeah, I am a United. Well, my dad was a United fan, so I'm a United fan.
Keeping it loyal. You look like a loyal man to me, Archie.
But I don't really. At the moment.
Didn't do that well last week. I was on TalkSport covering that last week. Put Ten Hag up, first manager to be sacked at 33s.
Oh, listen to that. And you are an outbox thinker, aren't you?
Yeah, and by full time he was 18-1.
You can't, again, just that dressing room's a disaster.
I was going to say that the problem with the manager isn't the issue, is it? It's the whole culture is completely gone. I mean,
it's 80 million for Harry Maguire they paid a couple of years ago. It just sums it all up, doesn't it? But good luck if you're
Brentford in the nap today as well, I think.
Well, I can see Brentford. Yeah, I can see that happening. Rabiot, I mean, you must be desperate. And then we looked for Arnautovic, I mean.
And with Liverpool drawing, of course, did that shorten up Man City already?
Yeah, 4-7 Man City were. But to finish bottom half, that was 8-1 pre-match before Brighton. It was 4-1 full time. I think they'll struggle.
Will be delighted with Brighton's start, of course.
They'll lose today.
Back against
I think they'll lose today to Brentford, and then Liverpool knock 2-3-4 past them next week.
Because it was Arsenal this time last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Geordies are loving life, aren't they? You've got the investment.
They're a good match bet with United.
Totally different team.
They're 4-1 to finish with Man United this season.
Geordies were?
Yeah, they were, yeah.
That's the sort
finish
of
above United.
Yeah. West Ham are a decent price as well, yeah.
Kieran Thurwell, did you take that?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Great to have the Premiership back, great to have sports. And it's a good time sporting now, isn't it? We're getting ready for the end of the flat season. Then the jumpers are back, obviously, today. They've had a couple of weeks off, haven't they?
Yeah. But then off again tomorrow, which always makes me laugh, I kind of think.
Outbox is very weak here, out to 7.6 on 5s.
What's hot then?
Away he goes. Favourite Sean Levy, that one's tightening up at a 2.8, around 15-8. It's nearly 300,000 matched in the Betfair Exchange right now. Can
I give you a quote from Newbury, Victory Dance? James Byrne, our Lambourne correspondent, is there. On the form book, says Alex Merriam. Alex Merriam. Former jump jockey, assistant trainer now to Charlie Appleby, says on the form book, Victory Dance was entitled to do that after his run in the superlative. Nice to see him get his head in front. I haven't spoken to Charlie, who is in France. There's a reason why I'm going to say that in inverted commas. Whether he goes a mile is something to discuss. That suggests they're looking at the Royal Lodge. They always say these thinly veiled sort of hints at the end in these comments, but if you were hedging your bets on where he was going next, that classy Godolphin Denford Stakes winner, it might be the Royal Lodge. Also, Frankel won that. Tomorrow in France, of course, we have the Jacques Le Marois. That's a clash, isn't it? Who says that? Luke Rawson, who's on the chat. Luke, good to see you out there. Who wins the Jacques Le Marois tomorrow? Of course, we've got Caribus versus Inspiral versus...
is it State of Rest?
State of Rest, the Prince of Wales winner, versus Erevan.
Yeah.
Proper race.
Very much so. Is Rafe Beckett's filly in there as well?
Yes.
Voyage.
Prosperous Voyage.
Prosperous Voyage, who, of course, turned over in Spiral.
Yeah.
Where are we thinking? Mark, you're perking up.
Caribus 7-4 currently, and Spiral 9-4 on the Betfair Sports, but State of Rest 9-2. I think that's the value. Shane Cross takes the ride. Real game sort of State of Rest.
There's a lot of pace in that race. I hadn't seen the decks, and I said to Kills, State of Rest will be looking for the front. He goes, got no chance of leading, he said, because the horse that took them on in the Sussex.
Baffert Leon.
Baffert Leon, that
and you've got Order of Australia as well. So it could
and Order of Australia for O'Brien.
Bit of a dust-up.
Who's only got one
It's a good race, isn't it?
Yeah. Really good race. Did we watch the Prix de Maurice Geest last week? Highfield Princess?
Yeah, that was great, wasn't it?
Well, it was great, but I think a lot of jockeys had to have a look at themselves, didn't they? I mean, Artorias, if you're on that, you stood... And I know he's hostage to Fortune Spence on that because he has to hold it up, but that was beaten after a furlong.
Favourites flip-flopped here. Zakira's now favourite, 2.74. Away he goes very weak, out to 3.15, around 9-4. Outbox, friendless, out to 8s. Bit of money for Universal. Order, 8.4. Silence, please, not really moving around the 9-1 mark. But the flip-flop, the favourite. Even more money now for Zakira. It's nearly into around 2.66.
I'd imagine a lot of people, that play on the exchange will be waiting in running, but good luck wherever you'll play. No, I don't want to see that. Universal Order. Zini will be thinking to himself, hang on a minute. Now let's see if that lights him up. He got very restless in the gates there.
Lead, that's what we want, do we not?
An Outbox looking for the lead. Can miss the break. I'll tell you what, I don't think he's quick enough to get the lead, is he? Because Zechariah, Hubby, has gone in front of wife Holly Doyle. That won't be a popular car on the way home, I can tell you, because Silence Please, who I called a bit of a nutter, lathered up with sweat, albeit on a hot day, but she's putting very hard. Away he goes, probably got the run of the race at the moment. And as I was half hoping for, not the rearing obviously, but Universal Order, just biding his time out the back. He's a horse that, if he's on a going day, can sweep them up in the final third.
Silence Please very keen here, out to 20s and running.
I would potentially put another 0 on that.
Yeah.
Famous last words.
Holly doesn't. Holly just looked down there. Yeah. Doesn't look too happy on Outbox.
It's weird because she broke as if she could get the lead, and he's either not quick enough.
I think what she's trying to do is get him to switch to his inside lead. He's leading on his right leg on a left-handed track, and it was almost like she was pulling on the left rein and giving him a slap down the right shoulder with a stick to try and encourage him to switch his lead leg.
You've just earned your corn.
14 to 1 and running out box right now, so they don't want this one in running.
I wouldn't be totally sure about how your Universal Order's going on.
7.4 is actually shortening up right now.
Away he goes is surely the one that we're happy with at the moment, aren't we, Arch?
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy at the minute. My only concern would be if Tom can get loose off the front, but hopefully Sean Levy can pick up the pieces.
Well, the married pair are going to start having a go at each other soon, quite literally, because they are hammer and tongs now, head-to-head, going into the final bend. So I'll tell you what, lit up a little bit now, Away he goes. He wants to go a bit quicker, doesn't he? And Sean Levy.
The one they want is Universal Order and running here.
Again, if you're in a small field, it couldn't have gone much better, bar the gates, of course, for Universal Order. What's happened there? Yeah, Outbox is
he's hanging, you see, as well. Like, he keeps wanting to switch to his right lead leg, and he keeps wanting to lug away to the right.
Yeah, and he's gone down the centre of the straight. Following him is Sean Levy, thinking that's the one I've got to beat. Andrea Arazzini looking on. Silence Please, despite the fact she's pulled, she's showing what class she does have coming between runners. Zechariah then, 3 furlongs out. What price on the exchange, Mark? Zechariah?
At 1.5, 1.3. Freeze on. Looks like he might have nicked it from the front.
Zini is just trying to kid Universal Order. Look, he's riding for luck.
I'll tell you, Holly Doyle's coming back.
Away he goes, he's flat-footed. Universal Order probably is the closer. Does he have it in him, though, to find these days? Outbox, despite the fact he's done everything wrong so far, is still in there pitching 2 furlongs out. But Zechariah, the 3-year-old's gone. Don't see this one being caught, guys, do you?
101. It's all over.
101.
It's all over.
The Queen's Vase, beaten by a Nats you-know-what in that. And he's gone clear in the final furlong. Universal Order probably had a bit of a think about it.
Get it for a second.
Probably one slightly softer ground, but he's back on track. Good to see finishing. Outbox, what a weird run that was. Poste earned his money there by telling us exactly what was going wrong. I'll tell you what, if you're on Away he goes, it's too bad to be true. Shocker. Mark, when did he go seriously low? 2 furlongs out?
So Away he goes. This one actually went quite short. I went around 6 to 4 and running at 2.6.
Away he goes did?
Yeah, it went quite short, but I think as soon as Tom asked this one in front, it was all over. It's probably the majority of the money was on about 1.7, 1.71, but never in doubt. And obviously Universal Order ran on quite well. Outbox actually traded as short as 4 to 1 at one stage as well. Looked like Holly Doyle was coming back, but never going to win.
No. Wow.
Don't know what race they were watching.
No. I think your colleague has done it. All have a question or two to answer. And I think that race actually exposed they did have a lot of question marks to answer, and he just answered the questions better than the other 4.
He's just probably is the horse going forward, isn't he? I mean, Universal Order has had his problems, and that ground I would wager is quick enough for him these days. He cruised in like I was hoping for, but I could quickly tell he wasn't going to let himself down too much on that ground. Fair play to Tom the Pom, who makes all. I think he made just about all, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did.
Zechariah.
Yeah. Took advantage
Zechariah
of the
a cup horse now of the future then?
Well, is he going to? You're not going to win the Ledger, is he?
I bet it's an entry.
Oh no, they quote here. He must be a good thing on ratings, Martin Mead, and hopefully he wins this on the way to the St Ledger.
Yeah, so there you go. Hookham, from memory, of course, won this race and went to St Ledger. Kite Point won this race. Do you remember for Godolphin? And was he Michael Jarvis Kite Point? I can't remember. I think the late Michael Jarvis. He went there. Did he take out the Ledger? I think he might have done. Horses can do it. Again, they'll aim him high, and then they've got a cup horse for next year, I suppose, haven't they? We've still got the Hungerford Stakes coming up at Newbury.
Kite Point wasn't Mahmoud Al-Zaruni, no?
Let's find out. Kite Point, everyone out there will know, of course. We've got to go back quite a long way for that. Not many 3-year-olds win that race. I mean, Hookham did it. Technician did it for the Meads. He'd be a Defoe won the race as a 3-year-old.
We're 16 to 1 Zechariah for the Ledger in the Betfair Sportsbook. Short enough.
Short enough.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. Yeah. What is favourite for the Ledger at the moment? New London.
3 to 1 currently on the Betfair Sportsbook.
How many has Appleby got in the first few for the betting for the Ledger?
He's got a few in the Westovers currently in 4 to 1.
Well, he's the kind of you don't know horse for that, isn't he?
Changing off the
Secret
guard.
State's the Appleby horse, isn't it? 8
Just
to 1,
keeps winning that chap, doesn't he?
Relentless, yeah.
8 to 1 that one.
Godolphin and O'Brien, what's he got in there?
Changing of the guard, I guess.
Yeah.
He's had a bit of a break.
He's a tanker, isn't he? I don't want to call him a boat because that would be a bit disparaging. But he got lucky to win at Ascot, didn't he? But he showed a great attitude that day.
That expensive purchase, Hryhorskyj. It's currently 14 to 1.
Yeah, he wasn't quite seen to best effect, I think, don't he? Was he at Goodwood? But he's got Melbourne Cup about him, that chap, hasn't he? So.
Do you think he has though?
What do I think he'll win it?
Well, again, he's by territories, isn't he? And again, I'm pretty sure a lot of his progeny excel on soft ground.
I was slightly underwhelmed with his Goodwood run.
They paid 1.2 for him.
And then
there is a misconception.
And then George Bowe put a tongue strap on him.
Yeah. And said that's not uncommon in Australia.
Was that the reason?
Because they interviewed him after and said that in Australia it's not seen or frowned upon.
1.2.
Is it frowned upon over here? Is that what they're saying?
I suppose at that level of racing it would be a concern, wouldn't it? I mean, certainly within jump racing, putting the tongue strap on is pretty common practice, but it's not something we see as often in flat racing, is it? So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. SBS. Was it Saibin Hryhorskyj, boy? Are you sure? Quayside says on the. Interesting. You live and you learn, says Paul Bakewell out there. I got that one totally wrong. Duh. Well, everyone was expecting away he goes to go and just sort of show his true colours, but he's got a lot to prove now, hasn't he? We've got a bit of time before one of our feature races of the afternoon comes up next. We pop back to Ripon. It's the 250. It's the Great St Wilfrid. There's a non-runner in it as well. Who's out?
It's Hyper Focus, to be.
Who does like a bit of give underfoot. And he's got another one in there. So we've now got 14 runners in a race that usually has no problems with the 20-strong field. Don't want to keep labouring the point, but...
We're 5 places on the Sportsbook instead of 3.
It's very generous of you, Mr. Hryhorskyj.
Yeah, it was very generous, yeah.
All right. I spoke to Tony Ennis earlier, and he really likes Blackrod in this. He's having a first run for Ed Bethel, but Ed Bethel and the team will be delighted to have inherited this horse.
He's been knocking at the door, Dave.
The amount of puns that could come out with this horse are dangerous, Danny Archer, and I wonder where you were going with that. He has been knocking at the door. He wasn't seen to best effect at Ascot, was he, when he was strongly fancy? Stole one, though, in the Great St Wilfrid.
This is a minefield.
But where are they going to race with 14 runners?
Right, this time last year, I was happily watching this show from a beach in Broadstairs. I think you might have been on it. Were you on it? When Bazza put in Just Another Bottle, who won? Barry knocked it out of the park. Ross Briley was hosting in this chair, and I can't remember who was on the show. It might have been you.
Might have been.
Can't remember. There was a time when we put you and Ross together, wasn't there? And might have been Patch on it. I can't remember. But Barry knocked it out of the park. Why? Because there are statistical, I don't want to say pointers, there are screamers for this race. High draw, make all. And I remember Ross saying on the show quite cleverly, whatever leads from the high stall will win. Just Another Bottle did it. That was Just Another Bottle who races in this race. It was his first run over that course and distance. He's seen been back twice and he's won. And what price is the old boy for the Ryans and his defence of the St Wilfrid on the exchange?
Just Another Ball. He's 11.5 to back, 12 to lay on the Betfair Exchange right now. 268,000 match. It looks very competitive here. Blackrod leads the betting at 5.2. So
Enzo's all over this, despite the fact it's still won.
I think this is massively competitive. We've got...
Talk about not doing your homework.
One of my old favourites, Snash. Remember I put that one up before?
Snash!
Put that up at 80s. Got Mullard.
It was really unlucky in the Thirst Cunt Cup, wasn't it?
Put it up at 80s and I got 1.
Yeah, some judges have put that up because he's in stall 14 now then, so he's going to nearly get the rail.
I'm with Snash.
Yeah.
You're with Snash too?
Because of the draw.
Yeah. Snashers. Let's get social up and see who the floor is with first before we go and find out the Betfair selection and indeed the trade before we go down the... Mighty Gomez comes back and says, my choice, Marc's choice. Your choice? Anyone? I did that well, didn't I?
Yeah, that was very good.
Considering I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Marc's choice, anyone?
34's on the Betfair Exchange at the moment.
Loves the gaff.
Yeah.
Has got William Pyle on. This used to be Wolford's horse, didn't it? Adrian Paul Keatley's got it now. Would have been saved for this race all season, no doubt. High draw, wind, visor. They're chucking everything at this and a £7 claimer as well. Can see where you're going with that, Gomez.
A 6th wind operation, it says here.
Is that right?
Fantastic. Wow.
Blimey, blowing a hoolie. Maybe they should try a tongue tie. I don't know.
If
it's good enough for Hugh
The vet's having a field day.
That's what a tongue tie is, because you pay 1.2 million for a horse, and you go and put
You go and get some tights. Yeah,
it's absolutely madness.
You cut a bit to length and you wrap it around the horse's tongue, do a bow underneath.
Literally tying it down, isn't it? So they can get the airways out.
What you're trying to do is make sure, again, horses can be prone to getting their tongue in the way when they should be breathing, on time when they're racing. And so you're trying to hold the tongue down to make sure that there's no impediment of that in their airway. Yeah.
So it sounds balmy, doesn't it, that over 6 figures were spent on that Goff sale on the eve of Royal Ascot. 7, sorry. And, of course, 7 1.2. And we're tying him down with a bit of old stocking. But in Australia, of course, they have different medications and stuff like that. They're probably thinking, well, we'll sort that out. So who you mull?
You're right, conspiracy theories.
No, rabbit holes in you today. I'm not going down them. I refuse to do it. This is one of the sort of nice shows to do because it's nice and fun today, isn't it? So we're celebrating racing.
Just going to the draw in this though, this year. So the stores on the stand side. Mm-hmm. There's only 14 runners.
Now that's the issue if you're drawn low. Have you put one up drawn low?
No. Yes, I have. Yes.
Are you with the rod?
No. I've gone Summergand.
Oh, who if he was only drawn higher. Now the problem is you've got Poste, and Keely pointed this out to me yesterday, you've got to go further across because you've not got the bigger field, you see. So if you want that rail, which they do, so those that have been drawn low, he pointed out, have been very, very good horses as well, which obviously we know Summergand did. Poor old Summergand got no run, did he, in the Stewards last time.
Yeah.
And O'Mara, his trainer, does, he's got a great record in this. If he'd have been drawn high, he would probably have been my selection. But they're going to go very close to the rail. We're just watching, they're going at Don, who've got plenty of time for this. Let's go through them. Anyone on Black Rod? Who is the fav?
Very short, 4.7.
Clear fav.
Especially with the low draw, 4.7 short enough.
And we reasoned yesterday in our methodology that if there was one horse drawn low that was destined for group races, it's probably going to be Black Rod. Good move to Ed Bethel as well, I think.
Any idea why?
Yeah, I was going to ask that question. Yeah.
Dave Armstrong, isn't it? Michael Dodd. So I don't think he's moved all of his horses. I might not know. It's an interesting one. I think about Mabs Cross and all the great horses that he's trained for Dave Armstrong and the family. I'm not really sure. Is there a comment there? I mean, he was beaten 7th, wasn't he, behind Rohan, and Rohan has shown himself to be we know he's a proper group horse. He has a bad draw in stall 1, says Ed. He's working nicely. Be looking forward to running him. Bet you have, Ed. I've only been here for a month. Model pupil since arriving. Very chilled out. I like him a lot. If he was drawn better, we'd be quietly confident. But as it is, I'm just hopeful. And again, when a trainer plays it down, you know what often happens. Again, let's play theoretical time here because we've got time. If he was drawn on the fence, what price would Black Rod be?
11 to 4, 3.75.
Let's have a look down now and measure that against the SPs of the previous winners. Just Another Bottle was a big price from memory. And again, Just Another Bottle, if you're thinking, he comes here out of form, he did previous to winning the race last year. I wouldn't worry about that. He can bounce back. Winners of the Great St Wilfrid, and funny enough, if half of the last 10 winners have been favs, but no shorter than 4 to 1. Staxton won it for Tim Easterby. Right gamble that was. Dakota Gold for Dodds before that. All from high draws this. There were 2 favs from low draws. Don't Touch, Air Gold Cup winner, wasn't he, from memory, 4 to 1. And Outdo for David O'Mara, who of course trained Summergand, 9 to 2 Baccarat as well. But again, he was 9 of 20. So you've got to be a very good horse to do it.
Stats would be against Blackguard here with the price and the draw factor.
Big time. But then Summergand again, the excellent Kevin Morley in his train column.
Got dropped £2 for that
the
run.
Only one that meets all the criteria. However, the draw, Kev, what are you on about? I guess, just on form and that and age and all that sort of thing, he ticks it. But the draw for me, couldn't have him. I like Emperor Spirit here.
I was going to ask you about that. So obviously you forgive the listed run, but obviously you've got the all-weather run, but you've got a...
Watch back in your members club. I often say it once or twice during the afternoon. This is a case in point. If you forgive Just Another Bottle bouncing back, Dan, my goodness, you've got to forgive that. He couldn't get in from the draw. He went too wide around Chelmsford. Forget it. PJ McDonald, Renaissance jockey, having an absolute time, but pile driver, etc. He does the steering from 13. He doesn't have to lead. He's a horse that likes to be prominent. I'll be very disappointed if he doesn't go close. And do you know what? I had a dream that he hacked up last night. That's horrible, isn't it, as a punter? When you dream... I actually woke up thinking I'd won money on Emperor Spirit. Horrible. And my son just jumped on my chest. I was like, no! One of those moments. We've all had them, haven't we, as a punter? You dream about horses. Yeah. I dreamt, and very rarely does it fall pat, But Archie Watson will be hoping for much better than Outbot showed in the last race. I suppose, is it interesting that Holly went to Newbury instead of this chap who was really well fancied? But again, I just like him a lot. Run style, draw, it's all there.
PG McDonald's good deputy. Get the job done, can he?
Absolutely, yeah. There are some interesting jockey bookings in this. Jason Hart, of course, sits on Al Simo, and me and Kills agreed on the forecast, would you believe it, yesterday. Al Simo's a filly that I really like. She's proper speedy. She's drawn in stall 8. And Jason Hart could not be having a much better time of it if he tried, could he?
No, not at all. Yeah, really
The
good
Hitman.
operator. Jason the Hitman Hart, yeah.
Highfield Princess. If you'd have said at the start of the year when she was getting beaten at Chelmsford like
She
that,
started winning off 55 or something like that. Brilliant.
remarkable win at Royal Ascot last year, but she came back, didn't she, this season? Everyone was like, well, she's going to win at Chelmsford on her return or wherever it was. She ran terribly. And yet she goes and it's just perseverance, isn't it? And
John Quinn, serious trainer though as well.
serious operator, yeah. Great to see. All right, so that would be my way of looking at it. Emperor Spirit to beat Al Simo. Remind us of the trademark.
Yeah, I'm going to Dutch 2 in this race. I do think it's ultra competitive. We're going to take Tim Easterby's Snash. It's currently 8 to 1 on the Betfair Sportsbook. This one was bigger yesterday, around 12s, 11s. So we're going to take Snash at 8s, got the high draw, and we're going to take Fortimer of Ben Haslam's. Andrew Mullen takes a ride, 20 to 1.
Oh, this is in the lucky 15, isn't it?
Ben Haslam's super fan.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Obviously, we're paying 5 places instead of 3 on the Betfair Sportsbook, so we want to use the Sportsbook here, take advantage of that. So what we'll do is we'll have... We'll do 10 each way on both of these. And we'll play this out. Showcase the Betfair Exchange, Betfair Sportsbook here. So bets are on. So we've got Snash and Fortimer running.
Can you please pronounce that name properly?
Fortimer.
Can you please pronounce Snash properly? It's your horse.
Snash.
Snash. You
I
can't
was,
say
I
that
was
without
shouting
saying
at home
that.
when I was on the Zoom call before the 80s, but just got millered. It was Rodana came on the outside. It was 100 to 1.
If I was a commentator and I called, I would. If I saw him on the race course, I would get excited about calling. Snash is coming.
Short
on the
enough, yeah.
Snash.
Short
On
enough
the
for 10 to 1.
Snash, yeah.
Yeah, on the Snash. All right, so they're your 2. You're Dutching them, yeah.
That'd be my 2, yeah. I think
Fortimore, who was unlucky last time.
York got stuck behind the wall of horses, yeah.
Whereas you've got a horse that you think still might be on the up.
Yeah.
And the Easterbees have pulled out their other one, haven't they? Which is quite an interesting move. I tell you what, Misty Gray's coming in for support, isn't it? I've got a mark of 109. Tom Dascombe's horse, Pierre-Louis Jamin, is
9.2 on the Betfair Exchange. Right
to win off a mark of 109 is nearly impossible. It was drawn in stall 15, so it just shows you how much the market respects the draw here. Do you, Posty? You don't. You're tearing it up.
I'm going away against it, but I mean, of course you got to have respect for the draw. But yeah, I'm hoping Samangahan, he deserves it, to be honest.
Summergand. How many times? So what did you call it? Sahamagand?
Yeah, I don't know.
Kinsale Oysters finally going to your head. Danny.
Snash.
Snash.
But I've got to give it a mention to Intrinsic Bond.
Oh,
was
yes.
4th in the race last year off a £6 higher mark. But most importantly, when I did my work experience here when I was 15, so 10 years ago, Tracy Waggett was the first person I ever rang up.
On the news desk.
So full circle. Tracy Waggett special in the Great
And
St.
here you
Wilfrid.
are, literally full circle.
Yeah.
Stratospheric circle.
Yeah.
But
no, I just thought interesting. 6 is the concern, the draw, but I think 4th in the race last year and off that lower mark, I'll give a note. But Snash would be the top one for me.
This is a great betting race. What are you with? Let's get some socials up. Okay, there's of course a reminder of your members club offer. That's still 50% off your first 3 months. And Chris Timms joins us back. Oh, have we been upsetting you about United, Chris? I think you're a United supporter, aren't you? Just another bottle to repeat last year's win. I wonder if Barry's going to have a little bit of this. Do you get sentimental with sprinters more than any other type of horses? They run so often, don't they?
Borderley Scott was always my
boy.
boy.
Borderless Scott.
Borderless Scott.
Borderless Scott.
I've always called him Borderley Scott.
I think growing up, Lock Song was the one.
Lock Song. Classy, you see. Bit of class there. Mark, ever had a favourite sprinter? It's hard to remember them all.
Probably like Mabs Cross was decent.
Mabs Cross was that's a great answer.
I like Geordieland over there against Yates. Probably when I first got
that's
into
a
racing.
staying race.
No, but that's what I liked. That's what sort of got me into racing, Geordieland.
Oh, the drone pilot's
tell you
not
another one,
another one. I was like, Geordieland.
When I was at Fahey's, Fonthill Road was there.
Yeah.
Fonthill Road. Richard Fahey, great trainers.
I rode him one day around Wolverhampton, finished second on him.
Did you? Fonthill Road. Was that? Would that be the fastest horse you've ever ridden?
Well, I suppose it's the best sprinter I ever rode. Yeah.
Fastest horse. That was the question.
No, the lad that won around Chester, he was quick now. Yeah, he would be quicker than.
What was the name of that horse again?
Sasandrovich. Yeah, he was a
What year was that?
Oh God.
Sasandrovich. Get on your members club if you want to have a bit of a giggle.
Yeah, it's
and watch
worrying.
Posty hanging on for dear life around Chester.
I think it's about 19 years ago.
Well, we'll have the replay, mate. Don't you worry about that. You can also watch a horse called Cooper Square if you like. He's out there as well, around Warwick.
My best bits.
Poste's best bits. Honestly, this is the life of a jockey. You do admirably, man.
What's your favourite sprinter?
Good question. Good question. Good question. Oh, it was a Portland winner. What's his name? Can't remember now. Oh boy, can't remember his name. I do love Summergand.
Right.
Who runs in this race, because I've had some brilliant shouts.
I thought you were going to take us down memory lane there for a minute.
Yeah.
The memory's not what it was.
No.
I've got 2 young kids and I've been in a lot of sun recently.
Too much of that sangria.
I've definitely been drinking sangria. We're going to go on to sangria shortly. Yeah, it was a Portland winner.
You used to like Soul Power as well, Richard Hughes on the
Soul
bridle.
Power.
Yeah, one of the greats.
Marc, you're propping us up here.
Yeah, I'm showing my age.
Any more
as well.
cup horses you want to throw in the mix?
Geordie lad, come there on the snaff, perfect back to lay back in the day.
He was an absolute hound, wasn't he?
Yeah, find absolutely nothing.
I mean, he came up against the greatest stayer of all time, probably. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, it's Cigaro fans, sorry about that. But Yates is the king, I think, isn't he? Just bear with me while I look at... Danny, you're calling this, by the way. Are they going in, mate?
Fantastic. A couple more still to go in. Good Earth is yet to go in. There's a good Chinese called the Good Earth near me. Maybe it could be a note. You never know.
Yeah.
Not just
Fast food.
Not just the sun going to my head.
What was very strong.
And I think the final one's going is just another bottle. Oh no, it's just another bottle in. Is that a colour change or just another bottle?
That's not what I want to see, is it?
I think it could be.
Oh, Spring Loaded. That was his name, the Portland.
And they're off.
Black Rod's splitting away. Black Rod's in trouble.
Black Rod very so end.
Now,
very
this is
very
interesting.
high.
Switched.
They go into 2 groups.
And you've got Indian Creek leading on the far side. That's what. If you are on Black Rod, you are hoping that Sam James gives you the tempo you need.
So Indian Creek, Summergan, Black Rod, and that looks like Ventura Express on that far side. On the near side, I think, out in front. Intrinsic Bond going nicely for the Waggets, and also on the outside, looks like Good Earth.
They're miles behind on the far
I'm
side.
on the rail.
Look at Mark's choice.
Emperor
cruising.
Spirit, yeah.
The
going
dream
well
is
forward
alive.
there.
Mark's choice cruising in
Intrinsic
behind.
Bond, and yeah, is that just another bottle as well in the
Yeah,
van?
yeah.
In,
He's cruising.
in 2. Indian
Mark's
Creek,
choice is a traveller.
Black Rod looks to have taken the lead on the far side, but do you think it's near side out in front?
Intrinsic Bond.
Intrinsic
Bond
Bond's
is
going
in
really,
front.
really well.
Yeah.
Going really well. Where's Snash?
Snash,
Still
where I
Intrinsic
think...
Snash
Bond
is in
going
trouble.
well. Just another bottle also prominent, but
Snash
Intrinsic
is
Bond.
lacking
Go
the
on,
pace.
Intrinsic Bond. Go on the one.
Yeah, I think you might be getting this. Look at this.
Emperor
Arctic not
Spirit's
done with...
still
Oh,
going.
you've got to be high.
Good Earth in the middle. Go
You've
on,
got to be
Intrinsic
high and you've got
Bond.
to lead.
Lift him for the Waggets.
Here comes
101.
Mark's
How
choice.
far? Not too far.
What's this flying?
Intrinsic
101.
Bond down in
Earth.
front.
This is
Intrinsic
Intrinsic
Bond.
Bond for the
Good
Waggons.
Earth. Go on, Intrinsic Bond.
I'll tell you what,
Easy.
Summergan's on another perler out
Not
there on
too
the
far.
far side. Well done, Danny Archer.
Very good.
Intrinsic Bond. Drawn 6. Connor Beasley, a man for the big occasion in these sprints. Was he on the Stewards winner?
Yes.
Comanche. He was, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
Back to back,
yeah.
So he made the decision to come high, and the strong traveller has seen it off from Good Earth, Michael Harrington, James Sullivan, beating Mark's choice. Well done out there. It was the mighty Gomez, wasn't it? They threw everything on him. He ran a belter. I think Summergan was fourth.
Yeah.
And you might have got your each way on Snash.
Snash
He was
did
fifth.
stay on.
I
don't
think
know
he
what
was
happened with
fifth.
Snash.
He couldn't go to pace. Dan, you said, where's the Snash? He couldn't go to pace. They went pretty hard posty, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They were a searing gallop.
Summergan's run it.
He's
When's
run
he
a
going to
cracker,
win?
yeah. I mean, but
Air
I
Gold
mean,
Cup?
the writing was on the wall. You see that from the furlong poles. They were miles behind on the far side.
He's got to win one, Summergan, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
Mark's choice
deserves
25.
one.
Mark's choice
That came on for that, yeah.
a blinder there, fair play. Look, right, let's see where he went after this last year. Where did he go, of course?
Snash is miles back.
Snash
even
is,
with a
look at the
furlong
ground
to go.
Snash is made up here.
Absolutely flown home.
Snash.
Summergan went to a listed
Just been
race
done for a
at
place. Is that for a
Newmarket
place
and
for
won.
fifth, is he?
Snash the eye catcher, surely.
Yeah, yes, Snash, yeah. Second Good Earth traded 2-1 and running for good money.
Yeah, he would
Well.
be your benchmark. Emperor Spirit just
Yeah.
ran himself into the ground. Didn't see him leading, I must admit, and the dream has turned into a nightmare for me on that one.
Black Rod didn't trade short on the BSP. That one was immediately out to
Again,
around
if you're on
5.
Black Rod, we tried to tell you,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Tear your slips up.
Yeah.
You couldn't win. And I think if you've run well in this race, you kind of now, aren't you? You're what's left? Portland, Ayr, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
And am I missing a biggie? Portland and Ayr, isn't it?
No.
That's it now. Portland in September, of course, and then Ayr towards the back end. And Summergan will, surely, along with Black Rod, the top two in the betting here, try and have another go. And if I was Ed Bethel, I think I would probably be thinking, let's hope for a good run here, keep him in a good place and get to Ayr. Because that's the big prize, isn't it? And
That was a really good shout from Marc's choice. It's traded 10s and running. BSB 40s.
He didn't get. He had a little bit of. You can see him going up and down.
Look at Snash. Snash is last at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a project. Look at that. The drone pilot is
because I was on, you know.
Taking off with that project. He's run a belter. Look at him. God, yeah. What sort of sectional has he done in the final furlong? He's absolutely flown, isn't he?
Marc's choice back at Ripon later this year. I'll be keeping an eye.
Straight from the front.
Whatever you think about these big sprint handicaps, they are great fun, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you know they all win in their turn, and when the prize is right. And fourth last year, as Danny said, he's come back. Tracy Waggett, Connor Beasley, really good ride, Posty, because he's drawn in 6.
Yeah, excellent ride. It made
immediate decision.
Made the right decision. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't have the post on me, but is that the biggest winner of her career? Maybe Tracy Waggett. I wouldn't. I don't have the big
website.
race wins on the website, but I think it's got to be a big one.
Good shout. Yeah, probably. Big race wins. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I would imagine that probably is. We'll try and get a quote in. It'll probably be David Carr, Northern correspondent up there, or Andrew Deets. Anything else to take from the race before we move on?
Nothing really. BSP was 20.6. It was quite weak on the Betfair Exchange industry price.
There you go.
11.1.
That's biggest race win. Yeah.
Biggest race wins. There's a hole that needs filling. Well done, Tracy Waggett and the team. And again, he's a lovely horse. He's a strong traveller, that, and 5-year-old wins 90. Again, he now goes to the Portland, surely, doesn't he? And he's fully entitled to go and have a crack at all those as well. We've got to go to Newbury, guys, I think, haven't we? Tangerine Trees is another sprinter of. That's what Dan Walsh. Dark Shot would be Dan's as well. Some great horses. Tangerine Trees, of course. Nunthorpe.
Brian Smart.
Did it win the Nunthorpe? It got done in the Nunthorpe, didn't it?
It win the Abbey.
Did it win the Abbey? Come on, Dan.
Yeah, it did win the Abbey, I think.
Won the Abbey. Of course, his brother won the Nunthorpe. That was a great impression, wasn't it? It's literally what came in my ear then. Yorkshireman. All right, Tangerine Trees. Who was his brother? Come on, Yorkshireman.
I'm not sure.
What's it? Alpha Delphini.
Oh, okay, another smart sprinter.
So, favourite sprinters out there? We love to do a bit
Glass
of this, don't we?
Slippers.
Oh, I loved Glass Slippers. She was more recently, she was marvellous. I said, didn't I, just when we went on Spring Loaded, Paul Darcy's horse. Loved Spring Loaded. And when he won the Portland, it was a good old touch in that.
What about Kingsgate Native?
Yes.
Duke of Firenze.
John Best, Duke of Firenze. All ended up, didn't they? Again, with, longevity.
What's the trainer they end up with?
John Best went to David Griffiths.
David Griffiths. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Marvellous. Mark's still dreaming of Cadrans and all that sort of stuff. Melbourne Cups over there.
Winners and all that.
All right, let's move on, because Newbury hot on the heels of this, isn't it? Tricky looking 3 o'clock race, Marc. Are you going to give us any help on the market here?
Right, OK. What we're going to do is we're going to place a bet on the Betfair Sportsbook right now, because we've got additional places. We're playing 3 places instead of 2. We've only got 6 runners, so there's a bit of value there. Quite like the outsider. Abel Keynes just currently went 11-1. I think you can forgive that last run. That's Goodwood. I think it was Goodwood. Yeah. Jockey lost an eye and reared at the stalls. We'll do 12.50 each way at 11s. That'll be the trade. I mean, won impressively at Foss Lass on the 5th of July. I think this one's overpriced. Love the ground. Should be handy. I think this one could potentially make all here. And if we're getting 3 places instead of 2, I'm all over that at the price.
Who's the fav on the exchange?
On the Betfair Exchange right now, it's Dance Fever for Adam Kirby and Clive Cox, 4.1, so roughly around 3-1. And then we've got Documenting for Jack Mitchell and Kevin Frost.
Clive Cox is going for a hat-trick in this race. Eratus won it last year, which we covered on this show, and River Nymph the time before that. All came in off the back of a win. And he's come down the weights, isn't he, Dance Fever? A little bit.
Might be able to nick this one in the front at Abel Kane, I think.
For the Millmans?
Yeah. Maybe able to nick this one in the front.
All right. Where did he run last time? Was it the Golden Mile?
It was Goodwood he ran last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the Golden Mile, wasn't it? Oh,
no, Stewart's Cup.
Stewart's Cup, yeah. All right. Totally wrong. Again, when James Millman comes back into the studio with Graham Rodway, I'm going to need to separate them, because at the start of the season, James Millman said to Graham in the office, off air, and I think on the show we got it out of him as well, horses just aren't all that this year. They won 3 in a listed race yesterday. How could you steam coming out of Rodway's ears?
Cuban Mistress. Is that the one?
Cuban Mistress, yeah. And they had the 3rd as well. That was 2nd in the Super Sprint. I mean, they're literally flying.
Yep.
They placed their horses so
well,
in fairness.
Cracking
really,
job,
really well for a small yard. I'm taking Dance Fever on it. I'm very keen on one in this race. Summergan didn't get over the line for the veterans, but I think Documenting can.
4.7 on the Betfair Exchange right now.
I would ideally have liked a few more runners for him because we associate him with so much in these big field handicaps and on the all-weather. But this is a classy operator.
Does he love a real strong gallop though? Is it with
well, I'm pretty hopeful that there might be one in this. United Front would have been the one that took him on. I think Silent Film will be up there. I imagine 5,000 to 1 won't hang around. Whether he'll lead or not, I don't know. And you're suggesting you might get loose on the front as well.
Yes, what I want to see.
Well, Documentary's drawing 5. And Jack Mitchell is going to get on your coattails and pounce. He was a massive eye catcher last time at Ascot. And I said, wherever he goes next time, I want to be with him. That was behind Fresh, of course, at the King George meeting in the
40%
International.
strike rate as well, 2 from 5 the yard. Flying.
Kevin Frost places horses again. Small yard, places horses very well. Over jumps and on the flat as well. Robbie Wild is the anti-postman. He likes 5,000 to 1. Who's put up a good case to me this one yesterday. Gisborne comes here in very good form. Silent Film, classy, a lot to prove. I'm all over documenting. Posty?
I did like Gisborne, but you just can't trust him, can you? As in, he could go and
veers around a little bit, doesn't he?
Like ended up with Silent Film for Appleby's. A couple of where he was. I think he was drawn terribly in the Bunbury Cup. I mean, ended up with there was 2 of them raced alone, didn't they?
Yeah.
Had a very progressive winter in Dubai and Bahrain, and again probably wasn't ideally drawn behind Inver Park at Ascot either. So
he's had some tough tasks. I agree with you.
And I'd say this is a drop in grade. In all fairness, he's a classy operator, and like I say, calmer waters for him, and hopefully the draw in this field is going to have less of an effect than it has his last 2 starts.
I think we'd all agree, lads, wouldn't we? He's the one in here that if he was to win, we'd go, how do we let him go off that price? I think.
Just from a price point of view, I just think
just because he's got the duck eggs next to his name, isn't it? Whereas if you look a little bit more forensically into it, as Posty has, Arch, they're going in.
Stable
Gisborne.
You're with the Giz.
I know he's a bit of a fragile, but I love his form. And he's a Newbury.
He loves
specialist.
Newbury, doesn't he? Yeah.
Newbury is his track.
All right.
But after Intrinsic Pond, I'm going to sit out the rest of the show. I'm happy to.
Barry wouldn't be letting you do that. Marc Hryhorskyj won't either, and so I certainly won't. Right, we've got plenty more racing coming your way, actually, including the Greys race after this, but they are off. Good luck whichever way you do play.
Okay, went to the front. That's what we want to see.
Right, well, I'm a bit surprised at 5,001 Probert again riding for luck. He got a little bit unlucky in the run on this chap. He's out the back with Dance Fever. Thankfully, at the moment, Ross Coakley has gone off. I'm loving to see the document. This is what I wanted. The target is there for me. And Posty, Silent Film. Gisborne's a bit keen as well. Abel Kane, then, he's got his own way out in front. 2 lengths ahead. What are they saying on the exchange, Mark?
We're near enough favourite in running here.
Doesn't
Abel
surprise
Kane,
me.
7 to 2. Yeah, they can't make their mind up here. Document is 7 to 2. Dance Fever out to 5 to 1. Silent Film, second favourite, around 5.3.
5,000 to 1 Keen.
Gisborne.
Yeah, eight's on the Betfair Exchange right now. But I mean, I think Ross has got
He's
quite a
going
cheap
quick
lead here.
enough, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
Documenting's in the van.
Every chance.
I'm in the van and I'm waiting to open the door. Here he comes. Look at this, Jack Mitchell.
Yeah.
It's the old boy. He's got a right turn of foot in him. Dance Fever's the danger, isn't he?
Come on, Ross.
Come on, Gisborne. Out you come now.
Come on, the documenting. Will he produce?
Come on,
Silent
Ross.
Film's the one that's broken. I think Gisborne's running around a little bit. It's between me and Dance Fever. 5,000 to 1 now has found his foot. Look at this down the outside. Come on, documenting. Can you do it, the old boy? Jack Mitchell just about holding sway at the moment. Keep him going. Go on, then he loves it. He's going to do it. Yes, the old boy adventure's done it. Get up and out there. Happy days. Great to see these old boys back. Dance Fever, unlucky not to get the hat-trick because he's bumped into one there. The old boy, again, it's a massive lesson that, really, for me and everyone else out there. You watch these horses. He was 5th last time at Ascot. Because of the orange colours, he knocked my eye out on the replay, and you've just got to hope they produce. Done it there, Mark.
Yeah, it's a good shout. He's went out to, what, 17 to 1 and running there. For good man. I don't know how he went out to that.
No.
Yeah, 16 to 1. Thought Ross Coakley gave Abel Kane every chance. That one actually traded really short after Furlong was into around 5 to 1. So when it's short, it's 2 to 1 for £119. But we'll take the place. We finished 3rd there.
Nice
we move on, you know.
Yeah, very good. And again, you just control the stakes there. I thought Kirby was going to come and do me there, but he's really knuckled down well.
He did. He stuck his head out well, didn't he? The old timer. Yeah.
Silent Film. It was a chance you took.
Yeah, he didn't actually ever look that comfortable. I mean, he's probably it's a race though where they've all finished in a bit of a heap.
Tell you what, you started so well.
I know, yeah. But there's still a couple of races left, yeah.
The Cup.
Even Money Kirby's went
at the
running there
Vicarage
for good money. Even Money Adam Kirby there in Dance Fever for good money.
He travelled out, and I thought he was going to come and do it. 2 horses that like those big field handicaps at Ascot, Dance Fever and Documenting, finish 1-2, not in that order, but they will be back for the likes of the. There's another couple of heritage handicaps before the Balmoral, which is the biggie, isn't it, on Champions Day? And the way it's going, let's face it, we'll be looking at quick ground there. All right, all that's still to come. Can I give you a quote, please, on Zechariah before we move on to the Greys race in 13 minutes' time? 3:18. Probably be 3:20. Why on earth they don't do it? I mean, why 3:18? It's still, I'm never going to... I just don't...
That upsets you, doesn't it?
It really does actually upset me.
Yeah.
It does.
But times mean nothing anyway,
because
do they?
exactly.
Yeah,
so you're just confusing people. 3:18. I don't know, anyway. I don't know. Maybe the young ones like it. I don't know. Zechariah, Freddie Mead, joint trainer, mainly does the talking for the operation these days. I think 16 to 1 for the St Ledger is fair, says Freddie. A bit of time between now and then. Go straight there by the sounds of it. Interestingly, he's got Australian connections, this chap. And he's in the Caulfield Cup and the Melbourne Cup, and we're going to have a think about that. The restrictions have been lifted slightly, haven't they?
Yeah, quarantine's way easier than it was, isn't it, again? So,
I think he was, I got a text through from one of your 33 to 1 for the Melbourne Cup, Zechariah, so...
Hopefully there's no COVID
I think
restrictions
I
with it as
prefer
well,
him for the
it's that time of
Melbourne
year,
Cup
isn't it?
over the St Ledger, don't you? And you're getting double the price there. He's the sort of horse that you want a quickish stayer
yes.
in the Melbourne Cup.
And he clearly has that. He's shown that injection of speed at Ascot and again today.
Yes.
So
You wouldn't totally throw that out of bed.
No.
No.
All right, Zechariah, good luck with that project if you're going to keep going on. We are not far off the Hungerford Stakes, which is our race of the day, and there's a poll out there. The poll's complete. We'll get that up after the Greys race, which we must move on to now. Betfair SP. No point in me trying to look for that. Betfair SP?
Betfair SP of the winner there.
Yeah, I mean, is Arch right, guys, on that? 5.24?
5.24 it was, yeah, documented.
Oh,
Is that
redeemed
right?
it.
Over 4 to 1?
Yeah.
I didn't get any of that. I can tell you that much. Great to sell. So greedy, aren't we?
Yeah, we can
I've
tell,
got
yeah.
a feeling that I am finishing this quite strongly, this programme.
Yeah.
However, this is the race. If I always say, safe gambling, sit one out. I've put one up in this, but only half-heartedly, I've got to admit. So I would be at the bar for this race, that's for sure. I thought Lord Rapscallion might be one, because I don't want to be at one near the top of the market here. Having said that, we've got two keen on runners here. Wentworth Falls, who I would have put up, and the Franny Norton, who's already won our first race there at Newmarket today. Mr. Bluebird's the key, though, Mark. He was holding a lot of the market, wasn't he?
Just more non-runners here, so we're down to 5. I'm quite keen on the other Stuart Williams runner, the outsider, Revolutionise.
Where are all the Greys?
That's a good question.
Where are they?
Good question.
As you say, given a couple of years ago, massive.
So many of them, wasn't there?
It's 11 grand to the winner as well.
You would have expected a better turnout, but I mean, I think this thing's got a chance. The apparent second string, but Marc takes the ride. I mean, it's campaigned primarily on the all-weather this season, dropped from a mark in 93 to 72. Could this be absolutely thrown in here? That's the way I think I'm going to play this. So what we're going to do is we're going to back this one straight win on the Betfair Exchange. We're just going to have a £25 straight win at 9.4. This one was bigger, around 12s and 14s, but obviously you've got to factor in the non-runners. But yeah, I think this one's going to run a big race back on turf. Could be very well handicapped.
Revolutionise.
Yep. That's the one, yeah.
All right, I've gone for the other. Literally the same colours, literally
Forecast?
the same colour, literally
Forecast?
the same trainer. Lord Rapscallion, but only because he's got the back class. I wouldn't be mad keen on this. Would you be at the bar for this race?
Yep.
Definitely. G-Rod, we were on together actually, I think, when I was in that chair. Vero Eagle. I don't know if you remember that Buick at Lingfield once.
I was on it. And it got locked
He's a
up
bit of
and
a red herring. This horse
never got out.
That was the run where people thought he's going to win.
Yeah.
He hasn't, has he?
No.
The eagle has not swooped.
Dutch decoy got beat 3/4 of length on the bridle.
I'd be laying Vero Eagle. But Dutch decoy won last night, to be fair.
Now that might be an angle in.
But
Would you play him in a place market?
That might be an
2.2.
angle.
yes, I think, with greatest respect, a bit of a hound. I don't think if he goes through with it. I was with Mr. Bluebird, but I think now I'm going to do the documenting sort of thing where good all-weather form, but I'm going to go with Common Girl.
Yeah, me too.
I yet to score on turf, but I think if we can translate the form, this won't take.
She loves
lots
Lingers,
of
doesn't
winning.
she?
So
I was
let's
with her
see.
3 runs ago and she came back and beat Mumcat.
Steady on the Betfair Exchange, 4.67 to 2. It's been
So
matched
Capital
the
B
race.
usually
isn't it, though?
has a
Yeah.
runner in this race.
I don't really
remember.
get Strike, the 11 race maiden, been jolly, but
For the aforementioned
Would you
Mrs.
place Lee-
Danvers
would you place
trainer.
Lee the both of them at the top of the market? Both of them
You're asking me
1.96,
now, Mark.
2.14, yeah. Drop you in now. Look at the prices.
Shall we place Lay Vera Eagle for the charity?
yeah, why not?
Okay, we'll do that. Two place,
Come on,
two,
Barry's in
pla-
Portugal. He's on the golf course.
two place or 3 place market?
Ooh, I
What
like
are we
it.
going to go for?
If you're going to blow out in style.
Right,
That's Poste knew about Kinsale.
2.2 for the Eagle in the 2, or do we go all out? He was on 1.5 in the 3.
Complete blowout. We're watching Perth on the screen, guys. There's a big field there.
Right, we'll go for the 2. We'll go for the 2 place mark.
Yeah, go 2 place mark. Go on.
£25 stake. Okay. 2.24. That's around the 5 to 4 mark. 31 liability. We'll take that. Let's see if we can get matched. You know what? We've got 15 matched there for 19. Let's see if we can get matched. We'll leave that one there. We'll keep it till we get matched.
All right, there we go. We are we've got a couple more races to go. We're talking about the Greys race. I mean, we're having a bit of fun about it, aren't we? But this is I don't know. If you're at the track, let's put a positive spin on this. If you're at the track, you're new to racing. I bet this is the one race that people are going to be watching the paddock around, aren't they? They're going to be getting interested in there. The kids will love this race, won't they? Yeah. If I was watching it on TV, my son would love this. You know.
Also, the July course, I hadn't been for a good few years, and actually forget what a nice track it is.
Lovely spot, Danny.
Yes, it is.
It is a lovely spot.
It's quite easy to get round.
You been there, Mark?
Nah, not ventured that north yet.
But you get out and go racing a bit, Mark, don't you?
Not been up to Newmarket, well, not to the July course anyway.
When's the last time you went to HQ?
I've been down in Newmarket at the racing school quite a bit. With the coaching.
Still doing plenty there?
Yeah, well, yeah, bits and pieces, like down for the amateur and conditional courses.
Do you do flat jockeys as well, or is it just jumps?
I could do, but like round where they try to keep it around.
Could do.
Yeah, around where you're based.
But I don't want it.
You jumped in there, you let me explain.
No, it's the way you said it, man. Yeah. You know what my relationship with you is like. I'm going to do it.
But yeah, there's not a lot of flat yards around where we are. If we're jumping sort of orientated, so. And I think the last
Where's
time...
the nearest flat yard to you, sort of Oxfordshire?
Ian Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Just up the road, yeah.
Hence Toddy is your protégé.
Exactly.
Is he still under your wing?
He is, but he's lost his claim, so...
He's got a bit quiet.
I don't know.
Toddy, if you want a new mentor, Marc Hryhorskyj.
I think he's just back. I think he's just back from. I think he's just back from.
France,
I think he's just back from Mykonos or something.
Is he?
Like that, yeah.
Oh, with Robbie Wilders.
Is he been there too?
We are ramping up for the jumpers a little bit, and while we're waiting for this, Grace, just a reminder.
You never let me go in, so I went to the Tom Jones after racing the July course quite a few years ago.
Oh, you'd love a bit of that.
Yeah,
Delilah, I could see you winging that up.
Yeah.
You do a few concerts, don't you?
Yeah,
You've got Coldplay on Wednesday night as well.
Yeah.
Best Coldplay song? Yellow?
Clocks for me, or Viva La Vida.
Big
Sky Full of Stars.
Sky for the Stars.
Him for the weekend.
My son loves that.
One of my favourites as well.
Oh, Hryhorskyj's there. Look, piping up. You going on Wednesday?
Nah, not for me.
We had tickets to the Chili Peppers as well, and we had to go to the sales in Ireland, which was a shame. And we got tickets for Springsteen next year.
Yeah, same. Can't beat the Boss. Boss is my favourite.
Yeah. Do they do any entertainment after York at the Ebor meeting?
Are you trying to mix that in with your trip up there?
No. I'm unfortunately, I've not been invited up there, actually, so I don't think I can go up there this time. But let's get a social from Kevin. This is an interesting one. And we're going to, quite rightly, been told to have a little think about York as well, because we've got that coming up. Marc's selection there, revolutionised. Big price, that. OK, as a racing fan, for 50 years, I've never felt less interested in flat racing as this summer. Well, hopefully, Kevin, that we have kind of covered that a little bit for you. But
it'd be nice to know why.
Yeah, expand on that, Kevin, for us. Let us know exactly why. Because we've said, obviously, the drought, so-called drought, and the small fields are not helping. The moaning about prize money, I don't know.
No star 3-year-old.
No star 3-year-old. We have got one.
Yeah, but he's not
going to be a
racing.
4-year-old, hopefully.
Yeah.
Let's hope he comes back. We could still see one in Luxembourg. I think that once the York is over next week, once the flat festivals are over, I think once we do, please God, get some rain, we're going to see an exciting end to the flat season. I think we are. I think the Art's going to be a belter. I think there's a proper Japanese horse in it this year. And we're all building up to that, aren't we? We've got the Breeders' Cup coming, all these great race meetings. I think that Champions Day, if Baid signs off there, it would be brilliant. Homeless Songs, can't wait for her to come back. She's my one. But day to day, I think it's very difficult to disagree there, isn't it? With
I'd agree.
This has been a bit mundane. It's difficult to really get up for these 4 or 5 runner races at, for peanuts.
It's been going on for a long time. I mean, even after a year, 18 months ago, I think the north was impacted first. Now it's starting to filter down to
I think we've had it through the winter as well with the flat game, haven't we? And of course it happened at the jumps, didn't it? It started to get these ridiculously 3-runner novice handicap chases and things like that. Come on. Anyway, lots of changes going on about that. Look, we can have flat years on the flat.
But we could see it as a positive, as it might kickstart some actual positive change.
Something
in the
had
sport,
to give, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is it a slight concern though, like Harry Dunlop and a couple of other small? This is the year where a few are actually handing in their licence, or?
I mean, yes, in so much as well that we're not talking about operators that haven't had success. I mean, Harry Dunlop is, especially in France, and Joe too as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit of an alarm bell.
They're good operators as well, aren't they?
He rents a yard, doesn't he,
Yeah.
Joe? So he's financially sort of. Look, this has happened over the years. Trainers have had to.
And when we're seeing huge increases in overheads as well at the moment.
But we are talking about trainers that have won big races.
Exactly.
That's the thing, I think. And are we going to keep seeing it? I mean, how much of this has got to do with the lockdowns and all that sort of stuff as well, and COVID and stuff? We said, didn't we, we might see more of these trainers merging.
Yeah.
That's something that might be an option going forward as well. Might help the game. It certainly helped Australia. I've been there, just in case you didn't know.
Oh, have you?
And the trainer partnership is something that I witnessed happening. When Gay Waterhouse did it with Adrian Bott, that was when everyone went, oh, OK, this is a thing. First lady of racing down there anyway. So look, Kevin, expand on that if you want. It was a good question. York next week. We've got any pearlers for York next week? I must admit, I'm getting my head down tomorrow and Monday because we're going to be doing a big preview here in the studio on Tuesday for it.
I guess we've already touched on it. The St Ledger of Secret State wins. I think he's 6-4 for the Voltager. Obviously, he'll constrict in.
Voltager's a great race, isn't
price. And then think the interesting. I know it's favourite, but that Acomb Stakes one I did like with Nostrum. Ryan Morse, Michael Stout won it.
Hello.
Sandown, I think, on
a
debut.
Judd Monty horse.
Yeah, Judd Monty. So a couple of interesting ones on that day I can see, but.
I'm looking forward to seeing Prescott's filly in the Yorkshire Oaks Alpinista.
She'll want the dig, of course.
She will, which is the concern. Yeah. So
no, big race of the week though. There's Raclette in that. I think Emily Upjohn's
She's
not
coming
in
up.
it now.
Finally, Raclette.
Emily Upjohn's definitely out to the autumn. Love will pitch up, won't she?
Magical Lagoon. Tuesday, La Petite.
Is she underrated?
Sorry, Tuesday, not Love.
Is she underrated? Love, I was like.
Yeah, I know.
Go back to COVID.
I know.
Don't do that, man. Aldari, I'm quite looking forward to seeing. In the City of York Stakes, that is on the 20th. He's a good horse. It's sort of in Baid's wake a bit, Aldari, but he's been spared and they've been waiting for the ground for him. But he's a good horse.
You want Baid to have a proper race. You want Mischief to turn up. Best condition.
What's the betting at the moment on the...
1.47 to back Baid, Mischief, 7. Well,
I think he's going to do it. I mean, I know it sounds silly, talking about, that's easy to say, Dave, 1.47 shot, but this is his toughest task, isn't it?
Yeah, I think connections have to play safe, because if he does get beat, obviously, there's a detrimental effect further down the line for stud and stuff.
Do you think there is a tribe that's desperate to get him beat? They're desperate, they're going to say, I told you so.
Judging from Social, yes.
Yeah,
that's my
I
point.
think so, yeah.
I mean, imagine if Social was around in the days of Hurricane Fly and the likes of that, it would have been brutal, wouldn't it? Hardy Eustace, and Archibald. Imagine if Twitter had been a thing.
Yeah, and the snaff, can you imagine
it
the
would
meltdown?
have exploded, wouldn't
Paul
it?
Carby would have been trending worldwide.
From what Marc says, it does bother me when they're trying to protect an unbeaten record for stud or whatever, as in I just don't see that adds any value to a horse's like legacy, I think it is far better to see a horse highly tried and get beat a couple of times, than just go through cherry picking.
Obsessed with the Frankel 1-1-1.
Yeah.
Is Dramatised going to be 1-1-1? If she goes for Lowther, she wins, right?
I think so, yeah.
She's going to go for the Lowther,
Queen Mary, if you look for a horse that's won out of it, you're struggling. There's been quite a few knocks.
Yes.
Mainland and Sea's terrible, wouldn't it?
Platinum Queen.
She's decent, isn't she?
She ran the Queen Mary, yes.
Is she going to go to the Nunthorpe?
Yeah.
Yeah, she
That's
is.
what we're saying with Hollydore, what, 8 stone?
Yeah, Hollydore, 8 stone 2,
yeah.
Supplement 40 grand, I think.
Interesting.
I mean, that adds a bit of spice to it, doesn't it?
It's not a great Nunthorpe, actually, for once.
I think Royal Acclaim's a late at 6-4.
I think very short.
Yeah.
What's the second fav?
Platinum Queen, around 7-2 at the moment.
It's a bit of, is it slightly
And then beyond that,
we've got Emirate 16.5.
He needed to
Kadam,
show a bit more,
11s.
really.
6-4 is short enough.
Can't believe Winter Power.
Again,
Yeah.
slightly
32.
overlooked.
Winter
It
Power.
was better last time, but but Royal Acclaim said sayonara, didn't she?
Very impressive. But
And like our great big hitter Barry Orr, he's
it's a big step up, though. 6-4, short enough.
I think it is, yeah. Yeah, well, like you said, for a horse that hasn't won a group race yet.
Yeah. 4 great days then on the Knavesmire. Wednesday to Saturday, we'll be carrying Ebor Day on our shoulders. Who wins that? I think I've got the winner, but
I think I've backed the wrong Stuart Williams horse here. I'm out to 16s. Your one is into 4.5.
Lord Rapscallion. Very good name for a horse, that, isn't it? Lord Rapscallion.
He's surely got to be a trainer that's a major positive for where you see...
money, yeah.
But we're winning a few quid for Greatwood, our charity. If you're having a good day, as I always say, go onto the link, show them a bit of love. Danny Archer has basically got the profit and loss hanging in his hands because he suggested that we should be laying the rogue in this Grays race, Vera Eagle. And on that note, Danny, I'm going to call over to you for the commentary.
That's a very well said word, actually, the rogue.
Here we go.
Very well put, Dave. Off they go, Lord Rapscallion. Well away, also along with Revolutionise. So with that in front, Come On Girl for me and Poste. So a good start in the Grays race. So Come On Girl very keen, as is number 5, which is Revolutionise.
Very keen.
Settled in behind Vero Eagle. Lord Rapscallion at the back of the field is Strike. As they split into 2 groups.
Have we gone 3 places here on Vera?
No.
2.
2 places, all right.
Mark, yeah.
We've placed late if you're worrying.
5-4, yeah.
Strike's going well, isn't it?
Strike is going well, but Vero Eagle, to be fair, is going nicely, but he usually does do this, and hopefully...
We hope he does it, absolutely. Which cap am I on the Rapscallion?
Revolutionise looks beat. It's out to 33 and running on the Betfair Exchange.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm
Rapscallion
going
on the
well.
outside.
Doyler's going low in the saddle. He likes his chances. What will he find?
Come
He's got
on,
a
girl.
first-time visor.
Has
We need him
Theodore
out
lad.
the first
Go on.
2.
Vero Eagle, now he
Come
gets
on,
to work
girls.
on Vero Eagle, and
Oh,
this
he's
is
gonna
where...
win.
I think on the outside, though, maybe, is it? The looks of Strike is
Yeah,
out in
Strike,
front, so
1.6.
Strike goes
He's gonna
on.
win.
Lord Rapscallion,
Eagle's
Vero
coming
Eagle
back.
actually looks like he wants
Slow
it
motion.
today.
Eagle's
He
coming
does
back.
want it today.
1.3.
The visor's done
Come
it
on,
for him.
Girl is also coming back.
Come on.
On the
Eagle.
outside.
Nah,
Comes
he's
Eagle,
gonna
here comes
win.
Eagle. How's he thrown this away?
Oh.
He's thrown it away again.
Strike.
has.
He's thrown it again.
Strike's getting there.
He's thrown it away.
Strike
He
wins.
has. He's thrown it
Oh.
on the nose. Unfortunately for us, he was second.
Yeah.
But I see.
5-4.
He's rogued it.
He is a rogue.
He's rogued it.
Photograph. Oh wait, the photograph.
But it means we need to win the Hungerford Stakes now, Danny.
We will.
We will.
10's on Strike in the photograph. 13.5. Very
Yeah,
Eagle.
no, Strike's got there. Fair play to the Portmans. We were bigging up the yard earlier with their Cornwallis winner.
But he's not one you
Mrs.
could back,
Daniels.
Dave. It's what I'd never say I really like Vero Eagle in a race.
No.
Even
You'll
there,
never have a better chance to win a race.
That would have been the perfect lay in runnings. Hit 106 for decent money.
Is
107.
that how short you went?
Yeah.
Maybe we should have done that.
Yeah, look, it's...
I mean, the exchange is slightly ahead of us here in the studio, and you were saying he's throwing it away, and we were like,
Yeah. He's thrown it
has
away.
he?
Yeah, he's thrown it away, yeah.
has he? But he did. So Ed Dunlop will be continuing to scratch his head. But well done if you did take aim with Strike. Johnny Portman. Was that Hornby on?
Yeah. So why did Franny Norton replace him in the race of on Mick Shannon's horse?
Good question. No idea. Couldn't tell you. That might be on the H14 site. The rest have had their chance. Come On Girl back on the order. She's run a race and she just wants synthetics there. The hill's not been good for her. Revolutionise looks like he's gone better from Lord Rapscallion. But again, maybe not putting his head down. Fair play. Hornby loves this track, doesn't he?
Came for that one late on, Lord Rapscallion. I mean, it's won a 4.2 and a 3-1. BSB.
Great to see Rob Hornby still buying them in there. All right, starting to hot up at the Curragh, of course. There's a 5 furlong listed race coming up there before Luxembourg. Is he the Arc winner? What are your York naps? You've got plenty of time. Does Baaeed get beaten? Let us know. You've got plenty of time. We've got to switch our attentions to Newbury. Loads of time to preview that. It is the Hungerford Stakes. It's our final race of the day.
Yeah.
Yep.
How time flies when you're having fun, eh? Any bears in here getting thirsty? It's hot out there.
Got to line up for Coldplay, haven't I? Got to get a couple...
We're in South Bank. Is all sorts of problems on trains at the moment, aren't there?
There is. Yeah.
Yeah, next week could be
Strike.
fun. There's strikes next week.
Brilliantly known
So,
to us. We've got one chance, Mark, to
Yeah.
boost up the... I'm surprised it's gone this
yeah.
quickly. And literally flown.
By,
So
yeah.
you have still got time, though, to get in your big shouts for next week if you want. We're not covering every day. We're just back on Saturday. Who is it? Barry will be back in the chair. Mark, great shift today.
Yeah.
Let's get it in now. So great, it's always great fun to have our drone pilot with us.
Yeah.
You sort of
Hopefully-
got propelled into the action on Lincoln Day 2021, didn't you?
Yeah.
And ever since, your stock has just risen, mate. And
Yeah,
it's
it's
great
alright.
to see you in here for the first time. It's nice to be in the studio, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously get better value as well for the business.
And you're Hammersmith, so
yeah,
it's less
close by, yeah.
X's. So
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But yeah, now listen, it's been fun. Hopefully we can get a winner in the last race. A wee bit of profit for the charity.
well, shall we get the market up? In fact, the boys in the studio way ahead of us. There you are. Now, I felt sure William Haggis was going to have the favourite here. But it's not the case, Mark.
Very weak. 4-1 currently on the Betfair Sportsbook. It's trading nearly 5-1 on the
Tiber
Betfair Exchange
Flow.
now. Yeah, 5.8. All the money seems to be for Pogo. It's currently 3.95.
I mean, I often ask you, don't I, where the queue's coming from, and I am seeing a huge queue on Pogo.
Yeah, they all want to be on Pogo. But there's actually one that's got form linked with one I actually like here, and that's Happy Romance for Richard Hannon. Hoya Doyle takes a ride. And we're paying extra places on this race as well. I think are we paying extra places on this race? It could be 4, maybe not. But I like this one each way. Step Up and Trip I think this one's currently 11-1, so that's going to be the play for the charity in the last race. It's 2 lengths behind Naval Crown in the Platinum Jubilee Stakes. I think that form reads well. So we'll back this one each way at 11-1. It's actually in front of Pogo out in Saudi Arabia as well, so I think this one has a chance. Willing to give it a chance to step up and trip. So that'll be the last bet for today.
She loves Newbury, doesn't she, Happy? She absolutely loves it. Shall I give you some football scores before we go down with this? We've got 10 minutes until our last. Aston Villa played Everton earlier on. 2-1 Villa.
Frank Lampard in
Everton
trouble?
Yeah, because Villa were bad last weekend.
Yeah.
Is there a first manager to go, Marc?
Yeah, I can get that for you.
Well, we're totally digressing.
Villa were
here.
poor last week as well, so
They weren't great.
No.
Yeah, and a lot. I mean, Gerrard lost his right arm quite literally, didn't he, to QPR? I can't remember the chap's name.
Oh, yeah, he's the manager now. He's an interesting bloke. He's been all around the world, managed a lot of places.
And was with Gerrard at Rangers anyway. Villa won 2-1. Arsenal have just scored against Leicester.
Jesus.
Well, I wonder why it wasn't in the chat today, but Jesus has just scored.
Yes, he's in my fantasy football team.
He usually comes on the chat bar.
75% of FPL managers have got, he's the biggest ever.
Really?
Yeah, in their teams.
Brighton 0, Newcastle 0. Batch versus Kieran Thurwell. There are 2 here. Man City beating Bournemouth 1-0. Bournemouth had a good start, didn't they?
Harden score.
Good shout.
Gerrard's
Southampton 0
6-1.
leads.
6-1 to go, Dave.
Wolves
first
and Fulham
manager.
0-0. Which one?
Frank Lampard 7-2 first manager to go.
Who's the fav? Is he fav in that list?
Ralph Hasenhüttl 13-8.
Is he?
Really?
Southampton's manager?
Yeah. I think Ten Hag's value at 20-1. I think they'll lose today.
Great shout. I think Lampard. I mean, I don't know. Who scored? I don't know. It's not telling me. Who scored for Leeds, guys? For Man City, sorry? Don't know.
Any championship
Haaland
scores?
could be Golden Boot winner, couldn't he? He's just going to score loads, isn't he?
Gundogan scored.
Gundogan scored.
In, yeah.
All right. well, we digress.
Oh, well.
The
Is your Ebor fancy Irish? Can I ask you that? Clue?
Who?
Is it an Irish trained runner? Your Ebor fancy?
No. They got the fav again, haven't they? Sonny Boy Liston, of course, won it last year. No. What's the fav called again?
Earl of Tyrone.
Earl of Tyrone. No, it's not. You're going to try and tease it. Are you with me next Saturday?
No, I just wanted to know that. I just wanted a little hint.
I'll tell you. We're agreeing on this race, Mr. Archer.
I'm a big Chindit fan. Always have been.
I'm going to have to back Tiber Flow at that price. Having put him up yesterday at 5-2, I can't not back him now at best price 4-1. But Chindit is surely the very solid horse in this race. I am one of Pogo's biggest fans, but I think you've got to be hopping mad to back him.
Short enough, 3.8. Pogo.
It's what I love about this horse is, and I was scratching my head when Charlie Hills was saying this because he looked terribly out of form. He said we've yet to see the best out of Pogo, and he's been proven absolutely right, hasn't he? He's such a good horse, but we know about him, and I think he will be vulnerable late. Chindit's got to give him weight, but this is his sort of test, isn't it? Plenty of pace on over 7. Newbury, absolutely fine.
Classy.
Exactly. Stays a bit further, as you say. A great record at Newbury. I couldn't see many chinks in the armour. I
We're
thought
hoping
4-1.
for the knockout blow then in the Hungerford at 3:35. Poste.
Dubai Poet for me.
Interesting. Why?
Well, just younger, progressive horse in the field. I thought the run in the Jersey was a cracker. Form of that race maybe isn't red hot, but then the German horse came out and won at Glorious Goodwood since. And yeah, like I say, young progressive horse on the up, taking on some very good horses, but sort of exposed at this sort of level, you know.
And has won here, of course.
Yeah.
I remember when he beat Gaius here in his novice. He looked like a right horse that day. And like a lot of these Roger horses, they tend to get sort of highly tried, and they can, I don't know, they sort of lose their way a little bit sometimes, and they come back in something like the Jerseys run a blind.
I mean, I don't think he stayed in the D Stakes, did he, around Chester?
No,
Star of India?
again, that's what I mean. They didn't.
Like,
he didn't quite know where to put him, did they?
Yeah, and he would have been probably a reasonable second, and sort of lost a couple of places very late on through the last 100 yards.
Was that behind Star of India?
Yeah, and then backed it up, back down in trip. I think it was a good run in the Jersey.
Anyone on Pogo out there, let us know. You've still got time to do it. Look at this, Hungerford Stakes. There's the poll in. Oh, yeah, lots of you on Pogo out there. That's perfect, William, in the gallery. Chindit, 29%, Tiber Flow. So basically, not a lot of love for Tiber Flow at all. Why is that, guys?
Here's a bet for you, Tiber Flow and Pogo in the match bet.
Why is he so weak, Tiber Flow? Someone tell me.
Sure. 2.38 Tiber Flow to beat Pogo in the match bet. Do you want to bet that, Dave?
2.8.
2.38.
Oh, yeah, let's have him.
He's
got to give him £6, which the handicap, it's about right, isn't it? Because 115 Pogo, because that Group 1 form he's got. Tiber Flow, look, maybe he shouldn't have been fav, but went out 5-1 on the exchange. That's mad. Of course, he won here, didn't he, when he beat Eras. He's looked like a horse that's caught between 6 and 7. And if you look like that at Ascot, you probably want 7 at Newbury, don't you? So,
yep.
And he's drawn in stall 1, which ordinarily, as I quite often say, wings are not for me on the racecourse. Keep them solely for the bar. And you've got Pogo right next to you. It's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get a great toe, aren't you?
Who would be the egg-on-face horses for people here?
I do. The one I was looking at, Primo Baccio. You still remember that York win, don't you?
And of course, flat track. Speaking to Paul Keeley about this yesterday, again, for those of you that watched What a Shout yesterday or this morning, I said, I'm going to have a little bit of a savour on her. We spoke to Ed Walker not that long ago on that show, and he still keeps the faith. Her 2 peak runs have come here and at York. Flat tracks. I know that we are banging the drum, but it's Goodwood, it's Newmarket where she gets beaten, France on bad ground. They run her at York when they expected to win the ground have gone against her. Richard Kingscote, you have to ride her like she doesn't know she's been in a race. But if she'd have been lower, weirdly, she could have maybe cottoned onto Pogo and maybe Run to Freedom, who likes to get on with it as well. Keith Melrose, who's been very ably sitting in for Tom Siegel on price-wise while Tom's on holiday. He goes for Wings of War, who's, again, a horse that lots of people have put up this year waiting for him to bounce back. There's lots of egg-on-face horses here I'm talking about. Jumpy as well as another one.
Yep. Yeah, very much
Hasn't won yet.
Henry Candy's Run to Freedom would be interesting on the outsiders. A little bit of money for it late on, 36 into 28s. Stables runners are running better. That would be one at a big price, potentially.
Yeah, we would like to have seen maybe a bit more from 5,000 to 1 in our previous race, wouldn't you, though, I suppose? Happy Romance is the one I've not backed and I can see it. What does Roger Varian say about Dubai Poet? Or is Andrea? Oh, I spoke to you yesterday. Yeah, I think he's just, going to see what they got here, basically. Let's get a social up. MI comes back on. Dubai Poet and Primo Baccio, each way at the prices. So basically not liking the front runners at the odds. Pogo, to me, looks too short.
Shortening up even more, 3.7.
Pogo is.
More money for it, 350,000 in the market right now.
When he won at Haydock, he stacked them and he went again. I was with him that day. What I like about him, he reminds me a bit of Yala Enki over jumps. That's weird, isn't it, to say that? But Yala keeps looking beaten. And you just know that the steeper the hill, the more it's going to keep pulling out more. Pogo's a little bit like that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Been with Pogo ever since he finished 2nd or 3rd in the Hunt Cup at massive price. He had to draw that day. And ever since I liked him, he won the listed race at Windsor. And he's just one of these horses that's caught between grades a little bit. You could argue that the Geoffrey Free is perfect for that sort of horse. But William Haggis has won it twice in the last couple of years with 3-year-olds, and Tiber Flow. Surprised he's that big. Have they taken the 5-1?
Yeah, he's currently shorting up. It's 5.7 still, so pretty steady in the market. But again, Pogo's shorting up even more, 3.6.
Where's Chindit?
Chindit's second in, 5.5. A little bit of money there for Tiber Flow now, 5.4. But they can't really split Chindit and Tiber Flow, second favourites here. But yeah, listen, I think Pogo's a bit short here. But then you get a bit of value with Tiber Flow, can't you?
We're talking about Baid form, aren't we? Of course, with Chindit.
Wasn't beaten all that far.
He just didn't really get a mile either, did he? That's the thing. Of course, he did at Ascot when we were all over Muta Sarbeck. Of course he did. But I think that one was worried out of it slightly. But horses that run 4th or 5th to buy, they come to these lesser races and they tend to win, don't they? Sees the stars, years it happened, all that sort of stuff. All right, well, we're coming up then to our last race. They're very slowly going behind the stalls. We've had a great afternoon. It's great to have you watching with us as well. Don't forget, every Saturday, God willing, in 2022, we will be with you here on Racing Post Live in association with Betfair along the way. Next week, Robbie Wilders, myself, Danny Archer coming back in, Glutton for Punishment, and Barry Orr will be back from his holes with us in Dublin as well. Posty, what does the rest of the week on? Obviously, Coldplay. The horses at the moment, the youngsters, are we getting a few?
We've got
shiny?
three 4-year-olds that we're carrying over from last year. They're back cantering away. Hopefully, get them ready for later on this autumn.
When does the point season start?
November. And then the 3-year-olds, they will stay out until they'll come back in 1st of September.
It's going to rain at some point, isn't it?
So we keep saying.
It's going to rain. Yeah. What drought? Absolutely no.
See him get a market on the sports book. I'll speak to the traders just now if you, Dave.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, great stuff. Jumby's the one I'm not with here as well, William Buick. Again, danced some big handicap dances, isn't he, in this race, and just doesn't really do it for me. So, just to remind you, I've got a little trifecta going on here, actually. Chindit to beat Tiberflow and Primo Baccio. Let's go for 3. Why not? Knock it out.
What,
you started
3?
so well, you can try and finish on a high.
JUMBY, Poet, Pogo, Chindit.
Danny Archer.
Chindit, Pogo, Happy Romance.
We'll go Happy Romance, Tiberflow, and Run to Freedom.
The people out there are going, what? I'll take the average horses of that. They're not being helped much, are they?
No.
The one unison we bet, though, of course, that went in, Victory Dance. It was only 6-4 on.
Yeah.
We got the forecast in that sometimes, didn't we?
Did we get our lengths?
Just Nat Green that can do it.
He's eased down, didn't he?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Ha! All right.
What did the distance end up at?
A length and a half, I think it was.
Was it a length and a half, I think,
Yeah.
for Victory Dance? So close, Mark. So close to the length and your odds. Your length and your odds, you won't try that again, will
No, I probably didn't.
I'm a company man, he thought. Back to the trading floor. All right, great stuff. The flag man is there, so that means hopefully they're going to be off. Well, they're not too bad with Newbury in their times today, are they? Some serial offenders there.
Who's your worst one?
Ascot, the worst, aren't they?
Are they?
Yeah. Newmarket, not much better. York will be fine next week. They're very good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are certain tracks better at it?
Don't know. Do not know. We've long talked about it, haven't they? How some tracks have got to go down to the start longer, and Newbury's in particular one. We've got a long runway down, but just get the horses out quicker then.
But York you have to go a long way, don't you?
They're always fine though, aren't they? Always 2 o'clock. Absolutely fine. Cannot wait for York then, but cannot wait for this last race. Here we go. It's the Hungerford Stakes, the feature race of the day. Group 1 horses dropping down, horses going up in grade. Exciting stuff. Would it be a 3-year-old? Would it be the Bide form with Chindit? Would it be the lovely mare Happy Romance? We're just waiting for Run to Freedom to go in. Very good. Only a minute and a half late. That's what you like to see. And away we go. Looking for the start. Jumbie maybe a little bit squeezed. Now, Run to Freedom wasn't great out. He's often a pace angle. So if you're on Pogo, that'll be good for you. Happy Romance, interestingly, switched off out the back. And we've got kind of 2 groups.
Pogo's 7-4 and running already.
This is terrible for Primo Baccio.
Yeah.
Watch her go and win now, but she does need cover, I think. But Pogo's getting an easy one. Dubai Poet's up there. Tiberflow onto Pogo is just exactly what you're hoping for. Run to Freedom tracking them. Chindit on the near side group as well. Poste, you're in a share of the lead.
Share of the lead. I mean, look, as in, I'm happy. Like, JUMBY Poet looks in a good
You're actually
rhythm.
leading.
Andrea Zini looks pretty happy, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm okay where we are.
Very happy with Chindit down, aren't you?
Yeah, I was, but he was mirroring Pogo. Now he's decided to go over to the other side and shadow Dubai Poet, but still going well, Dobbsy.
Yeah, he needs to settle Chindit, and he has done. Marc, Happy Romance, didn't see this. She must be huge on the exchange.
Yeah, 26s, 34s on the Betfair Exchange.
Pogo's rowing away. I think
Primo
Poste's going to be
Baccio.
happiest at this point. Tiber flows off it. Chindit needs the run.
Dobbsy's
Primo Baccio's going.
Dobbsy.
Pace is holding up in the Hungerford. That's what we can say.
Here
It was
comes
doing
Buick.
it there at Newbury yesterday. JUMBY coming with a run. Under Buick. Tiber flow digging deep. Primo Baccio. Could this be her day?
JUMBY.
The only time she ran at Newbury. Oh, now she's flattening out. JUMBY coming through the middle. Pogo's absolutely
JUMBY.
bounced.
No way.
No
JUMBY's
good.
won it.
JUMBY streaks away.
JUMBY's won it.
Every horse has their day, and he
Look
has.
at Wings of War.
He's won
Flew home.
very well
Oh.
indeed. That was a decibel I didn't know you had, Dan.
From the clouds.
Wings of War. Wings of War from the
You
clouds.
don't know war after that.
Oh, put him in the tracker.
There we are. Unbelievable. Fantastic. Well, E. Johnson Houghton, well done. If you stuck the faith with JUMBY, he's been short in some big handicaps, hasn't he, Marc? Hasn't cut the mustard. He's been placed in Wokingham's and the likes of that. Has his race in the day. When did they know? He burst between horses.
It's quite a strange market there. I mean, obviously, Pogo straight to the front. That was trading 2.8 after a furlong. Went as low. Didn't really go much lower than that. 2.78. The biggest price that one was matched. Looking at JUMBY, the eventual winner, that one's been matched at a high of 29s and running for small money. So nothing major there. But I think Wings of War is probably the eye catcher. It's absolutely flown home. Happy Romance looked beat 2-3 furlongs out. Probably scrapped that run completely.
Was that his first run at the trip, Wings of War?
Wings of War. It might well have
Sorry
been.
for that, but absolutely flew home under Kirby there. I think maybe next second, hit 92 and running there. For a bit of money.
He's a nice horse, isn't he? Because
JUMBY,
you know he's got that handicap form. He's now stepped up. The problem is, Posty, you're going to have to take on the big boy.
Yeah, he's going to have to continue that progression, isn't he?
Good
So-
ride from William Buick
Yeah.
because he got the cover, didn't he? And horse didn't really know and just produced it. Pogo's really disappointing, wasn't he? Tiber flow, the market knew.
Chindit, what happened there?
Disappointing. Had to pull, but he was carrying the maximum penalty, but he just didn't really find that. Some of these horses maybe.
5-2 and running Tiber flew at one stage.
Did it?
Didn't look.
How low did Chindit go?
Let's get that for you just now.
Because some horses at this stage of the season do start to say, oh, maybe I'll have a
3
bit
to
of
1.
3 to 1.
Not for
Prima Baccio?
Prima Baccio, I think that I've seen a bit of 9 to 2 in running there.
Dubai Poet on that ground looked like he'd go up.
Oh, actually, 2.32.
Actually, I think he held on for second.
And Wings of War. Surely now the sprinting is over for that horse. They'll keep him at these two. It looked even like he wanted a mile.
Yeah.
11 to 8, Prima Baccio in running.
Is that right?
2.32,
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, that's all we've got time for here on Racing Post Live. Thanks to the guys in the gallery, Kieran, Will, and Dan. Posty, good to see you, mate.
And you, mate. Yeah.
Are you back this month?
Yes, I think you said to me last Saturday in the month.
Last Saturday in the month, which is from memory. Oh, I can't remember what that is. It's the week after York, isn't it?
27th, which, I'm not sure. What have we got on that day?
We've got a good lineup, that's for sure. I can't remember exactly what it is that day. I can't remember, but it's good racing. Danny, see you next Saturday.
See you next Saturday, Dave.
Enjoy Coldplay, the both of you.
We will.
Yeah.
Mark, go back, find out where your drones are.
Yeah, back to Hammersmith, not too far. But it's been fun.
No, great to have you. And this won't be the last time you're in this. It won't be the last time this trophy stays with the host who can boast the most roast. That's Dave Orton. Coming from you here on Racing Post Live. Enjoy the scorcher out there. See you next Saturday.